Batteries fully charged. Launch ready for AEW Spark in 3, 2, 1. All Elite Wrestling discussion is live. Cue host Noah Foster.
Another week has passed, and you know what that means. Welcome once again, everybody, as we reignite the conversation on all things All Elite Wrestling, right here on another edition of AEW Spark. You know what this is. You know who I am, for I am the simple man of the simple brand, and my name is Noah Foster. With me, of course, is my color commentary cohort in all things All Elite Wrestling, brainchild, co-founder, creator of FTW Productions, AEW Youth Wrestling, James Hebert. We are back after the madness that has been the last few weeks in the wrestling industry and our lives all together. James, I know you've been through a lot, man. It's good to see you again. How are you?
Hot, and still, I'm just glad we're at the point where we're gonna get the last 2 weeks done. Real quick, before we even start this shit, did you know what happened when I did AEW Spark Solo? Did you even get a chance to see that episode?
I know that you had a problem with your Xfinity, which I'm guessing the internet provider, you had to reboot it. So the week before
it rebooted on its own.
It rebooted on its own. You had to replay the live feed.
So this is basically what the issue was. What it would have been is that we could have probably done this week way earlier had I gotten that done on Tuesday.
Right.
But of course the Wi-Fi cut out. So I had to do it for Thursday night. So it was what it was. So yeah, it is the technology, the heat, the schedules being absolutely out of whack because of Mania season. It's all over the place, but we're finally here now, and I'm just glad we got to this point.
Yeah, you and me both, as we only have to look at 1 week, because again, doing this thing in 2 weeks, you might as well be watching a Monday Night Raw that might be more entertaining, and it could go longer, but God help our voices.
Exactly why I did the shit yesterday.
Well, God bless you, respect. Now we're caught up, and why we do talk about this now on Friday, April the 14th, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are not focusing on this week, this in context. We are focusing on the last full single week in All Elite Wrestling, the week before this one. Things will return to normal, folks, coming this Tuesday, I assure you. But without further ado, that being said, starting back on April 3rd, let's get right into it. So, folks, once again, for those that don't know, this is the forum that I started that reignites the conversation on all things All Elite Wrestling. A general open forum with a flash run back of everything and some open-ended discussion, too. We like to condense this for you as much as we can within a 1 week context. And we also try and keep this thing under about 3 hours or 2.5 hours, too. We're going for 2.5 here because of how late it is and everything else. Plus, considering how much now we are focusing more on the quality versus quantity, especially on Tuesdays and Monday nights. Thank you, Tony Khan. This should definitely go by a little quicker, and hopefully that will be the same pace of things going forward, which will also not coincide with a new form we hope to start soon. Details to come when it comes to Ring of Honor being separate to Lincoln System 2. But that's still to come. So without further ado, keep it in the present. Let's go ahead and bring you all through what happened the last full week in AEW. We kick things off, of course, with April 3rd with AEW Dark Elevation and get right into the action. And I've noticed lately now that AEW Dark Elevation is starting to take place in the Universal Studios Center, which honestly is not a bad idea considering Dark Elevation and Ring of Honor, they're kind of hybrid within that ecosystem and beforehand with the live audiences, giving you a bit of both feels, but also giving you a bit of variety no matter what experience you choose. I respect that. Things kicked off, as I said, this time from the Universal Studios. I love the new arena, by the way. So much more life.
Yeah.
Action Andretti taking on Big Boy Nick Camarado, and it's safe to say the factory has been abolished as the guy rolls solo, but he still has that bad guy Italian soprano look to himself too, for whatever reason. Either way, this was your typical big man versus small man, speed versus power fight, and I will say it was pretty good when things definitely picked up after the early, bolstering. Andretti tried to lift Nick Camarado, didn't get much there, but then hit a nice suicide dive, but Nick Camarado catches him and plummets him on the freaking edge of the apron, the hardest part of the ring. As they finally get back inside the ring, and Andrade tries to fire back with a few elbow strikes, ridiculous backbreaker by the big man for a 2 count. By the way, as I like to always honor my sources, for we believe in not plagiarizing anything. Thank you to PW Mania and All Elite Wrestling.
There you go.
Anyway, back to the match here. There was a 2 count in the early going with some lower back work. Again, working the lower lumbar and a nice single leg Boston grab transition. But Andrade finds his way to get to the ropes the moment saving grace he could have. As we keep things moving forward, things really picked up here after Camarado basically ended up eating the post himself. A split leg moonsault saves of Johnny Elite, from Andrade, and then back inside the ring when Andrade misses a split leg moonsault again after follow up, going for a whisper in the wind. But then Nick Camarado catches Andrade again and snake eyes him. But then Andrade, incredible balance, kicks out of it into another split leg moonsault, very impactful one for a 2 count. As Faines kept going forward and Camarado took him out with a ridiculous lariato. Back suplex to a backstabber combination by Camarado. 3 moves of doom. You think that's enough? Nope, we get a 2 count. Which allows Action Andrade to somehow find a way to literally grab a victory roll. He survived here. It wasn't aerial antics. It was awareness and smart wrestling that allowed for Action Andrade to get a simple roll-up victory over the big man. Nick Camarado looked pretty strong in defeat, and Action Andrade showed, though, that he's not just a aerial acrobatic. He is actually a thinking wrestler. A decent opener.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed the match, but the week prior with AR Fox and Nick Camarado, I thought that was the better big man, little man match. I thought I don't know, something was missing here. And maybe that's just me, but I don't know. Action Andretti is very competent in that ring, and he's a very good athlete, but I don't know, what sets him apart to everybody else? I feel like nothing yet, really, other than he got a win on Jericho.
Yeah, I mean, since that 1, 2, 3 moment, he's kind of, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
He's kind of finding his place or finding a spot. And when the new platform kicks off, folks, soon, date and schedule and stuff to be determined, we'll talk more about that, too, because maybe he did find a different place to take action. But again, details are to come. But overall, I mean, Nick Camarado, it almost feels like now that Dark Elevation and Dark are trying to become the new refoundation of what was the elements of the factory that weren't hired by UTV. Let's face it, we've seen Cole Carter, we've seen Lee Johnson, now we've seen Nick Camarado. Maybe those 3 need to come together and build something of their own. I mean, if nothing else, Nick Camarado just reminded us how effective he is as a big man, but this match just kind of felt like it was there.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it was very much just there.
Yeah. Speaking of things that were there, this one was all right, though, as, of course, the newly now All Elite, by the way, congratulations, Sky Blue took on Angelica Risk. Things nearly going. Of course, these women, both with a bad attitude. One can kick it on Chuck Taylor's. Jaw jacking in the early going, goes for the Skyfall immediately, but Angelica Risk avoids it. Follows up with a nice knee and then a modified sick kick for a 2 count. But then Angelica Risk avoids a corner charge and slams Brood down by the hair. They always go for the hair. Women always go for the hair. Such a cheap tactic, but damn, it's always the go-to. As she goes for the Tiger Feint kick and hits it, gets a 2 count, but Sky Blue then falls back with an enziguri and then a kick from the apron and then heads up for a crossbody. But Risk then blocks a follow-up super kick, but Sky Blue able to spin through, hits that head kick for a nice 2 count. The way that she just rotates on that as if you're like trying to take the needle off the record. Seamless. Beautiful. As they start trading strikes, and Angelica Risk hits a ridiculous edge-o-matic, but 2 count only. Impressive opportunity taken. In the end, though, Sky Blue finally sets her up for the Skyfall after a nice super kick hits, and the Skyfall allows Sky Blue to pick up the win. Very effective here, both women showcasing.
I agree. Very good match. I know how good Angelica Risk is because I've seen her in DPW and we've seen her a couple times in Ring of Honor. Good match here. Again, though, last match you had the previous week against Queen Amanita, I thought was better than this. I don't know. Again, something missing here.
Well, it's one of those things, James, like I said. In pro wrestling, you kind of develop these friendships for life with unique rivals and unique opponents. Queen Aminata might as well be a second partner in life for Sky Blue when it comes to how well those two work in the ring together. You are absolutely not wrong.
Fair enough. I didn't know there was history between the two, but
I
I said right after that match is like, we know how good Angelica Risk is, but I don't know. There wasn't like anything screaming out to me in this match. Whereas the match with Amanita, like I said, sign her because like she should be in the Women of Honor roster if nothing else, especially competing for the world championship. Definitely could see her versus Ember Moon, Athena. Sorry, botch. Yeah, using her bad name. But yeah, no. I enjoyed that. I said maybe if nothing else, have her be the female member of the embassy, because she screams like a Prince Nana gimmick to me. Maybe they could be in a relationship. Who knows? I don't know. On screen.
That's a fair take, but the only thing is, Queen Aminata's not really a heel. Never has been. But though she does have that, royal flair to her ale. So, I mean, she could probably pull it off. It's not a fair shout, but funny enough, great segue. You must remember this show because who was in action next but the Gates of Agony, as Khan and Toyoa took on the Quan, Leonis, and Maximus. No, I am not figuring Greek terms, folks. That was the actual people's names. And names aside, not bad for this clash of four, I would say, big men. Khan and Maximus starting things off in the early going. Quick tag though in by Leona and Leononis. So clearly there is tag team cohesion among both teams when it comes to their partners. This wasn't just two random people that were just picked up on the fly. And there was a lot of power here. But Leona, again, no selling a shoulder block in the early going. But then eventually Leona hits his own shoulder block as Khan tags in. And we get some tandem tag team offense moves here. But the Ambase, as Prince Nana looks on, of course, endorsing this. Some mean stomps, then mounted punches. Then Khan goes for a chin lock. But Leonis fights back with a jawbreaker. Tags in Maximus, who basically ran roughshod. It was almost as if the Trojan horse was just invading a fortress at this point. Talk about a hot tag and a difference maker for somewhat. As we got a tag in and then hit a sliding Northern Lariat on Leona for a 1 count only. Well, that was nice while it lasted. As Khan took Maximus out, left Leonis to himself with a couple of mean clotheslines and a double back suplex and face buster gets the job done. Porta Ambase, who continues to show their absolute dominance as our still Ring of Honor 6-member tag team champs. For the fact we haven't seen Gates of Agony in a lot of action outside the pay-per-view, I must say, this was a nice reminder how effective the Gates of Agony are.
Yeah.
This was good.
Yeah, and it was a nice change of pace to see the Gates of Agony as opposed to Brian Cage every week on Dark. Really enjoyed that they actually put them on there. They did a really good job kind of showing their dominance. And I do hope that going forward we see more Gates of Agony on AEW programming and just in general. Because I think they have a lot to offer in the TK Promotions bubble.
Well, considering what we saw this week that we'll talk about next week, Tuesday night 10 time, folks, I think you may be onto something, James. Stay tuned, people.
Mm-hmm.
As we move on from there, the members of the House of Black rise and show your respect and allegiance as the Heartless One, Julia Hart, best entrance, by the way, best hat, took on Kelsey Heather. And again, Julia Hart, subtle, simple in her presentation, coming into her character. She looked at Kelsey, subtly smiled, waved for her to do something. Then jacked her with an elbow, and I will say that hey, Kelsey traded for a moment. And then Julia Hart literally slammed her to the mat and then went for a suplex and followed with mounting punches. Did not go for the pinfall here like her old give me a cheer gimmick. Just straight up aggressive, physical, ground and pound nature. Yeah, Brody Kingman teach her a thing or two. Follow up from there, back elbow from Hart, but then Heather was able to get her with a split stunner. Very nice landing base on the stunner. Almost makes me think she got more impact behind it. Not much of a bounce, though, because, again, Julia Hart and her height. But then she goes for the second row moonsault and crashes and burns. As Hart locks in Heartless, and Heather taps out immediately. Nice try, Heather.
Better luck next time, Heather.
The house always wins.
Yeah, I mean, it was a squash. I will say, though, at least it furthered her character development. I like how... I believe this is Dark Elevation, right? So it was probably Menard and White. But the commentary team mentioned, it was like staring in a mirror of what she used to be. I like that
exactly.
I like that little storytelling. Yeah. Really liked it.
Because she even did that cheer. Like, remember Julia Hart came in with the Varsity Blondes? It was almost like something out of a High School Musical about the musical part. Thank Christ. But it's one of those things where it's like, again, commentary, you're supposed to sell, you're supposed to explain, you're supposed to guide. And truth be told, Matt Menard's getting better at that. He's not just being the, guy that's like the reactive to moves and that's
man!
me. I mean, he and Paul White, they got a decent chemistry, but also Tony Schiavone definitely helped out here. You can definitely tell the difference. But that being said, you basically hit the nail on the head when it came to Julia Hart's development, particularly lately. Her character is being fine-tuned. And now we're seeing that character start to really come into her wrestling style. Not just the submission, but in her mid-game, how you continue the match.
Yep.
So it was really nice to see that. And again, Julia Hart, the youngest member of the entire AEW women's roster, might I add, at 21 years old. Good for her. All right. As we move on from there, embrace the change as the unique one without that box. Whatever happened to that box? Kip Sabian coming out with the Super Bad Girl. Very game effort match here against Leon Ruffin. That Ruffin name holds up, folks. I tell you, you watch this guy. He holds up in the ring. This was an awesome match.
Yeah, I agree.
Could Sabian there to go in with the subtle, okay, test strength. Okay, how about this one? Okay, how about this one? How about this one? Eventually, they do lock up, and they literally trade our arm ringers and then escapes, and we get a standoff in the early going. I was not expecting that. As things picked up, though, Ruffin picked up speed, hit the ropes for a bit, but then Sabian was able to cartwheel out of an arm drag and, just getting the audience to, hey, react to me. A fake dive by Sabian, though, of course, followed up that crowd play, I like to call it, but then Ruffin tries to fall back. Sabian, though, falls up with a suicide dive, brings Ruffin back in the ring, and again, a kick out of nowhere hits as Sabian tries to suplex Ruffin. Avoids it, though. They trade counter for counter. Again, Ruffin, for his stature, a very effective counter wrestler at times. That's his biggest strength, besides his speed. And then Sabian hit it with a freaking punt kick, and that just stopped all that in its tracks.
Yeah,
as Sabian basically worked Ruffin over here during this bit, though, Sabian had to break the hold after a near roll-up attempt, and then got up and over stunner from Sabian, and then a senton in the corner as Ruffin tries to fall back. Small package for a 2 count. There they caught Sabian by surprise.
Yep.
And then a boot tried to literally take Sabian's makeup off as Ruffin was trying to fire up, and then we get an elbow, and then he starts hitting the ropes again, but Sabian blocks a cutter, winds up eating a Pele kick. And then jumping cutter by Ruffin. 2 count only. And then following up from here, brainbuster though by Kip Sabian, followed by that knee strike, and the definitely hollows. Gets the win for the guy that reminds us to embrace the change, even if we don't know what that means. What I really like about this match is, again, Kip Sabian is one of those guys that really has redefined himself, character and in-ring wise, but he's able now to show more what he's capable of in that ring. Let's not forget, Kip Sabian, bad, he is the guy that got the first ever victory in All Elite Wrestling.
Yep, first ever singles victory, yeah.
And he got the win here against Leon Ruffin, who continues to impress and definitely has support of the fans.
Yes. And it's really good stuff here. Leon Ruffin continues to impress every time he goes into that squared circle. Kip Sabian, I think, with this new gimmick, I personally think they need to start doing something with him that's actually worthwhile because he's really good. And I think he deserves a championship at some point with the way he's reinvented himself. I don't know what you make that, but he deserves something. So give him something. I don't know. Like maybe have him go to Rev Pro, win the title there.
Maybe he did win a title in Japan. I think whether or not he's still the champion there, I have no idea.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in general, like you have this working relationship with New Japan. They also have a working relationship with Rev Pro. So why not tap into that?
And why not? Right? I mean, again, you talk about the Forbidden Door. Of course, that's coming up. You talk about All in London. That's coming up. I would definitely make him a big marquee part of that. We have no idea where Pac's at, and the summer of All Elite Wrestling right now could take an entire paradigm shift of a different sort with all these events and the go home in Chicago. But I digress. But again, there's a lot of different opportunities I feel you could use Kip Sabian for beyond Dark Elevation. And honestly, at this point, I just wonder when we're going to see Penelope Ford wrestle again. I don't know if she's like medically cleared, still, recovering from an injury or what. But again, they're even more effective as a duo than individual singles. So again, you're definitely on something, but we'll have to wait and see.
Agreed.
As we move on from there, Lance Archer, bye, Bryce. I freaking love Murder Hawk. Oh my gosh. Fuck. And of course, Jake the Snake Roberts. So good to see him. Jake the Snake Roberts hit a short arm clothesline. That's all I need to say about this match. Lance Archer, by the way.
And Bryce is just like, did you hit him? And he's like, no, I'm just helping him back in the ring. I was like, okay. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, trust me. I'm a snake.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kenan tried fighting back with some kicks, but then Lance could have literally won off that big boot, in my opinion. No, he had to do the choke slam, followed by the lariat. Didn't even do blackout. Everybody dies. Lance Archer gets the win. I'm so damn glad to see this dynamic back on my screen.
Everybody
dies.
Everybody dies,
Exactly. That's exactly the point. Everybody. That was so much fun to watch. But again, Jake the Snake Roberts, great to see him back. Better graces, mentally especially too, and physically. And Lance Archer, give the man real competition. Because, seriously, unleash the Murder Hawk. What are you waiting for?
I agree.
It annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah, give him something, man. I don't know what you could give him, but you need to give him something. I want to see gold that's not New Japan U.S. title related. Like, give him something. I don't know, man.
I mean, bro, he's got that opportunity, and I suppose that would be a major match. And the thing about him is he may not have won a championship, but he's been involved in major championship encounters in All Elite Wrestling. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, Lance, which way do you truly want to go in the wrestling ecosystem, brah? Do you want to be back at the D1 Climax again? Honestly, I wouldn't mind that. So, I mean, again, and with Suzuki-gun completely disabolished, now we got just 5 days. And, of course, Strong Style. I mean, Lance Archer, he has literally free realm. I mean, I don't know. Killer Elite Squad reunion maybe at one time. Okada's looking for partners. Okada and Lance together. That'd be a freaking wild sub-tangent. But I don't know. It's one of those things right now where it's like, Lance, everybody dies, but if everybody dies, who are you going to face?
The Murder Hawk makers or the Rain Murder. I don't know.
The Rain Murder.
The Rain Murder.
I mean, I still go back and rewatch that match, too. Again, Lance Archer, a hell of a run back into the freaking G1 Climax. Pick that guy back in New Japan, but I digress. And this was fun. Good to see Lance. Good to see Jake back. And Jake still throw a clothesline. Who knew?
Everyone dies and hit pay window.
Hey, get paid.
There you go.
Day, right?
There you go.
The legacy is written by the winners, and that was proven here as the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, went up against the Infantry, a former Marine and a former, I think, Navy person or Army.
I like the Infantry. Can we get the Infantry on TV more often, please? This is great. This gimmick.
They had tremendous dynamic in tag team chemistry too, as Carly, Bravo, and Sean Dean, the Infantry, took on the AEW Tag Team Champions. If they won, they would have got a future shot at the AEW Tag Team straps, despite the fact we kind of knew what this was leading to when we get to Dynamite. Anyway, seriously, all the shenanigans possible by the Guns in the early going to take the advantage, even pulling off dueling poses, lame. As Colton Gunn gets tagged in, we get more posing, just brash arrogance by this young generational tag team of sorts trying to step out of their father's shadow, yet they still show a lot of their father's mannerisms, I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, as this match kept going further down the line, Austin tries to break up a wishbone splitter of sorts, and both Guns basically get split down the middle. It was as if I was seeing 2 pairs of scissors open up, but it wasn't even by the Acclaim. And then following that, both of them basically got hit with the Guns powder, which is, of course, a tag team move variation. As we get a cheap shot by Austin, then Coda hits him with a clothesline. They look to follow up. Don't get enough here. Austin back in, though, grabs the chin lock, slows down the pace, while the crowd still calls them ass boys. Dean with a nice jawbreaker, though, finally gets a little bit of a reprieve. So Colton's tagged in, tries to stop the tag. But finally, Dean lands a kick, tags in Bravo. Bravo runs ruckshot in the early goal, including a net breaker, and then diving onto the Guns, onto the floor. And a jumping cutter, 2 count only. As Colton, though, avoids a move and then keeps getting rolled up, but distracts the wrestle. Austin can hit a famous, sir. Oh, gee, I wonder where he got that from. But Dean breaks up that pin. Meanwhile, Bravo comes in, hits a double DDT, and then an axe kick. Nice combination. But then Dean makes the tag. Surprised he didn't go for the pin there. And then follows up the splash up the top rope, goes for the pin, but Colton breaks it up. I guess he just wanted to add a bit more impact to that tag team offense. As Bravo tags in Dean, Austin, though, basically avoids a move, and then the Guns hit Bravo with the 310 to Yuma, the modifiers, you call it, big rig into a flatliner, and the Guns pull off the win. Bleh.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, we knew what the result was. I just want to see more of the infantry not involved in this shit, because... And I kind of want to see the Guns not have a match on Dark as the tag team champions.
It does kind of defeat the purpose when you think about it.
I mean, then again, is it bad necessarily that the champions are there? But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, if they're there, obviously you don't think they're over enough to be on the main shows, so what are we doing here?
It's also maybe one of those things where maybe you're trying to engage an audience that may not watch the TV product, who these two are, because I do remember it is on YouTube. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like presentation of the champions versus the image of the championships, or vice versa. It's one of those weird calls. It wasn't like it was Ring of Honor, for example. And by the way, infantry, much more effective than Ring of Honor, I'll just tell you.
I agree with that. I can imagine. But I will say, right, when it comes to this.
Yeah.
It is better for the Guns to be on AEW Dark, but they're solo acts, than being a part of the firm. Because holy shit, the firm is not doing well.
We're not even talking about this freaking week, and you don't have to tell me that. Trust me, I'm well aware. As afterwards, Tony Schiavone interviewed them and basically said that come Wednesday, it is hey goodbyes, as the 310 to Yuma will end the FTR run. Top guys out. And that was it. Again, the fact that the Dark and the Dark elevations are collapsed and focuses more on quality versus quantity, really trying to give you an idea of who is moving forward, or maybe trying to go in a different direction in All Elite Wrestling, or something maybe to figure about it later on. It's nice to see because, again, there's so much wrestling already. We try and keep up with all of it. I mean, Jesus. But it's nice to have a condensed version where you can just kind of watch, sit back, spectate, and just think on. You don't have to be fully engaged on the leader. You don't have to really, dive in detail over it. And you don't have to really, just constantly have a focus on it. It's one of those things where it's like a light dose. A taste, if you will.
Taste!
All Elite Wrestling.
You want taste?
A non-sports entertainment.
It's pro wrestling this time. It is pro wrestling. Goddamn.
Damn it, but I digress. Anyway, but I enjoyed the show for whatever.
You want to know what makes Noah Foster's nipples hard?
I am not going to answer that question, and nobody else better either.
I could go left and not say pro wrestling and go you know who, but I'm not going to go there. I'm not. What's his name?
I will.
I'm not Casey Flynn. I'm not Casey Flynn. It's okay.
Preacher man, God bless you. We are ATW. But yeah, good stuff by Action Andretti, showing a different side that was not aerial, how effective we could be down in the ring. Sky Blue continues to always impress us with her dedication, how far she goes to, and also she's got a pretty mean attitude. Gates of Agony, good to see them up for once. More Julia Hart development. I need to see that more in her in-ring presentation versus the character pre-match rituals and such. She's pretty much got the character down to the T to the point that she lip syncs her theme. She owns who she is. Now she needs to redefine herself further in that ring. And the subtle, slow take on her offense is helping with that presentation too. She's not just balls to the walls, aerial batic, or straight up nonstop violent. And I like that. It's more of a pace. And of course, Lance Archer right now, keep fitting in more guys, I guess, but give this guy real competition and give Kip Sabian something more to do as well. But a decent show for Elevation, once again. Under 45 minutes.
I will say, by the way, we need to do grades. I don't feel like we've ever done grades since we started this back up this year. But
I kind of don't do that because, grades is one thing, but an outlook is another, you know?
Yeah, I'm only going to give a grade because WWE Aftershock gives grades for every show there. So
I see.
I will put it this way because I gave a grade last week too. This is a C+, good show, decent show. It's way better than the fucking last week. Oh my god, last week was one of the most unimaginative episodes of Elevation, like, to the point where I was just, why am I wasting my time watching this? Like, last week. It was so bad. Like, it was so boring.
To be fair, James, you gotta remember what they were dealing with. A lot of the roster was probably booked for obligations that usually compete on Dark and Dark Elevation. That was WrestleMania week.
That is fair, but still, oh my Christ. Like, you couldn't have gotten one. You couldn't have gotten one person to actually challenge Athena and give her a run for her money. It had to be another squash match. Like, after everything else was a fucking squash match on the same show!
Ring of Honor was a whole different story, though, last week with friggin' Emi Sakura. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see that.
That week, Emi Sakura. Yeah, that week. It wasn't last week, it was that week. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But again, Ring of Honor versus Dark Elevation. I think Athena's pretty much summed up the difference between AEW and Ring of Honor when it comes to the feel, the pace, the freedom. Armored Apex had sessions, and those that are more curious on her thoughts towards that, go watch that. But, yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move forward now as we look at AEW Dark from April 4th, because, again, Mondays and Tuesdays back-to-back. A nice, simple edition, and it started off pretty, as we had the Wingmans, Peter Avalon, and I don't know how they keep moving that three-piece sax band all over the freaking country. How's that possible? Oh, gosh. Look at Taz, Excalibur.
Maybe they are the three-piece sax band, and we just don't know how they're doing it.
He's never played an instrument in his life,
listen, we don't know what he's capable of.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, besides submissions, probably.
Yeah.
Excalibur, and hey, maybe he's more musically gifted than he is the gift of gab, or some might say an over-gift of gab. Maybe that's why his tagline, Shut Up, Excalibur.
Oh, and maybe that's why Taz has a factoid and he's got a boil in his ass. Anyway.
Well, that's a whole different story and a different aspect for another day.
Truth.
Anyway, you were talking about AR Fox earlier. AR Fox kicked things off here. For what Peter Avalon is in character, he is very underrated what he can actually do in the ring against somebody.
I agree. Really good shit here.
Peter Avalon and AR Fox in the early going went off with a boot and then a midsection followed by several right hands to the spine and a nice power slam as Fox continued to fire back and took Avalon to the outside, then goes flying as AR Fox only does. I swear this man's more rubber than freaking Ray Phoenix at this point. Drags him on the ring apron and escalates a leg drop off the top rope, but then Fox trips Avalon up and Avalon retaliates with a super kick. Not a bad super kick. As action continued on the outside, we got a ridiculous tope suicida by Peter Avalon, kid you not, and a hit. As he brought Fox back inside the ring, he delivered a nice cross-body followed by a pair of chops, but AR Fox fights back, though. Avalon, though, being the heel, rigs the eyes and then hits a nice snap suplex. Sits on Fox at the top turnbuckle, and Fox slips out of the way, though. Gets behind Avalon. Again, you got to be aware of the situation. High risk, high reward. Or no reward, crash and burn. As Avalon fights him off, though, after looking for a moonsault, Fox rolls out of the way, delivers a roundhouse kick and a pair of cutters, but Avalon catches him with a Death Valley driver on the apron. Damn.
Big time Death Valley driver on this shit.
And yet Fox somehow finds a way to mount a comeback to ascend through the ropes and hits the 450 splash, but Avalon rolls out of the way. But AR Fox, how do you scout somebody rolling out of the way of your move and land on your feet through a 360, let alone a 450 splash? What the hell is your awareness at? Friggin' instinct, skill level 10 out of 10. Anyway, as Avalon looked for a roll-up, he didn't get it as AR Fox was able to reverse the counter. Avalon then finally pins him again for a near fall. But then AR Fox reverses it and sticks to it. It was literally roll-up exchange here.
Yeah.
Got the win.
Yeah.
AR Fox with the win.
Yeah, it was a great match. These two had a lot of great chemistry. I was surprised at how well this match
Peter Avalon on the marquee, I'm like, what am I watching? And then you watch this. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you know what's funny too, and a lot of people have that same preconceived notion with QT that he can't wrestle, and then you see him in the ring, and then the dude's busting out a vertical suplex into a fucking powerbomb. So it's like, it's just like, oh, that's right. He can go.
Right, exactly. The presentation doesn't define the actual quality of the performance.
Yeah. Really good stuff here. Every time I see Peter Avalon as a wrestler, he starts impressing me more and more. That LA Dojo taught him something.
I mean, he had to get something while messing with LA Dojo. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was good stuff. And Peter Avalon in a singles match. What was the last time that happened? That wasn't a squash on TV against Jericho, and actually was a pretty effective singles bout. Keyword singles bout.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, well, as we move on from there, I'm just going to say this for the record. Let's appreciate the hardest working man in AEW Dark history with a record of over 100 losses, with one of the most catchy fiends ever. Damn it, Mikey Ruckus.
Hold on, I got to do the gimmick now because this is the gimmick on the show.
Go ahead.
Spanish Announce Project.
Damn that theme. That theme's more catchy than Joe Hendry. Start it, Mikey. Oh,
that theme song, dude. You know what it sounded like too? What's that theme song? The guitar instrumental like for it. You know that Christmas song, that one that's like "Feed the World." That's what it sounds like. The guitar's singing like.
And then it just goes to a happy do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Lord. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get back to this. Yes. Serpentico representing as James politely sung, and we're not going to do an encore. Oh my gosh. Serpentico went 1-on-1 against Big Willie Mack. Again, big small man dynamic here. And Serpentico, I'm pretty sure his brain cells have been a bit damaged based on Luper's teaching because he literally threw his body into Willie Mack every possible point he could. And it basically didn't do a whole lot.
Oh, not just that. It's funny you mentioned that. We thought it was Spanish Announce Project because we're so used to hearing the theme. It came out the Chaos Project theme. I was very, very angry about this. What the fuck?
To be fair, he came out by himself.
But he came out by himself the week prior, and he came out the SAP theme. So what the fuck is this? Like, and by the way, this match was way better than the one against Brady Booker. Brady Booker sucks. Oh my god, never show me Brady Booker again. God damn it.
The less we talk about that, the better off we are.
I'm a football. No, I'm a football player. I can do drop downs. Are you impressed yet? I can do drop downs.
Maybe Serpentico chose which Phoebe came out with? Because, yeah, he got two, technically.
I don't know. It's just really weird, dude. I don't get it. Like, SAP is the catchier theme.
I know, James. It's too catchy for its own good.
I guess so.
Anyway, there was some catches here. And the early going, shoulder tackle, delivers a chop, arm drag. We follow up with Serpentico, who kicks out after another mean chop. Hits a back heel kick, and Matt goes for the pin, but somehow Serpentico was able to survive it. And then, oh wait, that's right, he didn't freaking come out by himself. I think it makes sense it was Chaos Project, because here it was just the two. It was Lufer and Serpentico, the original duo. So, I mean, you know, it's always chaotic with Lufer is out of the ringside.
No, you know what they should come out to? They should come out to the Serpentico's first team, just for shits and giggles. Cause
I don't think people forgot what that even was like.
Yeah, what the fuck was the name of that song too?
I would have to YouTube it.
I actually have it in my music file. Go ahead and break down the match. Go ahead and break down the match. I'll let you know what the song is.
All right, good deal. As Serpentico kicks out and Luper hops on the apron for the distraction, Willie Mack though fights back, and Serpentico though basically gets him from behind. Tasm delivers a big back body drop though. Mack literally broke the man in half nearly. Falls up with a lariat and a Samoan drop, and then Mack kips up and always gives you the 1, 2, boom, and that freaking standing moonsault. Beautiful. But Serpentico's able to kick out. As Serpentico ascends to the top rope, looks to deliver a senton atomical, then follows up with a drop kick to Mack's knees. Good idea, taking the big man out the base just like that, as you should. Looks for the crossbody off the middle rope, but Willie Mack able to catch him and deliver a power bomb that sends Serpentico back to Mexico. Willie Mack gets the win.
Ron, Spanish country, Puerto Rico.
See, Puerto Rico. Fair enough. For the culture. Diamante. But yeah.
Oh, don't fucking. I love Serpentico, man, but that's disrespectful. pull the Diamante, man. Come on.
Yeah, fair enough.
Already gone through enough.
That's fair. But Serpentico apparently never goes through enough. But hey, let's hear it for the hardest working man in AEW Dark history, right? Willie Mack, though, good win.
Yeah, Willie Mack looks great, and I hope they actually sign him. Is he officially signed by AEW?
Now, you know as well as I do what I am, James. I don't scroll. I don't have notifications. But I heard it through the grapevine, a.k.a. the Meltzer of our multiverse, a.k.a. also my friend at church, that maybe, just maybe, he and a particular female talent we've been very high on might be signed by All Elite Wrestling. Reportedly. Until I see a graphic, though, I ain't believing a damn thing.
I agree. I always go by
Look how long it took Sky Blue to get the graphic. Just saying.
Yeah, it did take a very long time, did it? I'm still trying to figure it out, because I'm looking through...
Maybe I forgot.
I know the song is called Virus. That's what it is.
That does sound like a familiar name. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and move on. As Layla Gray, folks, she is the baddie. And Amira learned that. Quick and simply. Jeez, Layla Gray, you're not paid by the hour. You are paid by the minute. Literally threw in the corner, fires off several stomps, and literally sends her head repeatedly bouncing up the top rope. You figure she was dribbling for the WNBA. Follows up with a suplex and a boot to her midsection. But hey, Amira actually gave her a lariat, but then Gray delivered with a face buster and got the win. The quickest match I can remember for Layla Gray. Damn.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it was what it was. I mean, I'm enjoying Layla Gray, though, at least. Layla Gray is
she's definitely preserving the baddie presentation. She owns what she is. That bitch is... Bitch? Am I wrong? Come on!
I mean... I guess not, but, it just sounds very fucked.
It does, but I mean, she is that B, so everybody else that's a baddie is a different B. I don't know. Equation.
Yeah, a lot of B's. Double B's. Double B, double B, double B. I don't know. Sorry.
I mean, you know what? We're going to talk about something that really blew us off for real when we heard in the main event, and that was Dynamite. We'll talk more about that later if we're going to friggin' break out rap lyrics and Don DeMonto lines here. Check out the Don DeMarco Show, folks, if you haven't already, with James and King. Shout out to you. Hey, I got you, bro.
There you go.
All right, let's move on. Meanwhile, I talked about WNBA. This guy's trying to be his own NBA announcer. Don't quit your day job, lawyer. As we, of course, bring in the varsity athletes. Ari Daivari and Tony Nese. I guess the varsity athletes is a trio now with Josh Woods. I don't know what the hell's going on with this Trust Busters varsity athletes thing. Anyway, they took on Jay Lucas.
It's confusing! No one knows what the fuck is happening.
Was that the thing they came out to, or did they actually get the...
No, they got the varsity athletes entrance. Okay, Last week was fucking strange, because they came out to their fucking rock tune that sounds like it belongs in Power Rangers by Mikey Ruckus. So I don't know. It was weird.
It wasn't Mighty Morphin time for Jay Lucas and Teriyaki.
No.
Yes, folks, that's his name.
They did not have the power of the Dragon Zord, so automatically they fail.
Well, I mean, hey, Tony Nese, Teriyaki, they mix things up. Teriyaki and Tony Nese mixing things up.
Well, Teriyaki, pork fry ray, same thing.
Pretty much. Started off the early going. Nese trips Yaki, tags in Ari Daivari before he and Nese plants Yaki with a double suplex. Can you just call the guy Yaki? That just works for him, in my opinion. Anyway, Daivari falls up with a knee, though, to the midsection. Tags Nese in. Basically, quick tags early going by Nese and Daivari. Jay Lucas was lucky to actually get in this friggin' match, as Daivari fires off right hands and then tags himself back in again. They deliver some mean stunts, but finally Jay Lucas is tagged in on the other side, fires off with some elbows until Nese whips him around in the corner, and Daivari's waiting and follows up with a kick to the jaw, pinpoint accuracy, damn. As Nese delivers the uppercut, tosses him over to Daivari, where he catches him with a cutter for the win.
Yeah, it was your jobber match, really. Didn't really.
It just shows how effective Daivari and Tony Nese apparently are as a tag team. Would it be safe to say at this point it's like a free bullet thing? I mean, we've seen Tony Nese, Josh Woods together. Now we've seen Ari Daivari and Tony Nese together. Tony Nese is the premier athlete because he's so dynamic. He'll work with both these people. But I honestly wonder if Ari Daivari and Tony Nese is maybe the better duo together, considering their history.
Well, it's not that Tony Nese and Josh Woods aren't a great team either. It's just that...
No.
You know, when you consider that they've been tag teaming since you were doing 205 Live Matters...
Damn it.
From, like, way back in the fucking day. And they're still teaming now.
WWE had a purple brand, and we liked it. Anyway.
Yeah, they had a purple brand. We tried to like it. And then Vince is like, no, you're not. You're not going to like it, pal. Unless Enzo's going to be in it.
Look, when I was once a wee lad, there was a brand called 205 Live that was more important to me than the Vince creatively produced SmackDown and Raw, and I stand by that. And that's all I got to say. But again, leave the memories alone. It is what it is. Simple as that.
Leave the memory on. What you say? All right, sorry.
I mean, you're wearing AC/DC, so you know what all the rock.
No. If I gotta do it like I gotta do it like AC/DC.
There's probably like a rock.
Leave the memories left.
I got so damn distorted. I bet. All right. Well, that was that. Moving on.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm trying to get all musically creative here. You got freaking Lee Moriarty with his freaking air ukulele. Freaking Tiger.
Yeah, I always try to hear what the fucking song's actually saying. I always think it says like, Amy.
No idea.
Who the fuck's Amy?
all on me? I don't know. It's Tiger style, right?
Is it that fucking girl that he's dating that like is fucking hot as hell? Is that Amy? I don't know.
I have no idea.
The one where MJF said he was a virgin, and then Lee Moriarty's like, nah, I'm not. And then MJF's like, fake, and I'm like, you sure about that? And she was like, right next to him.
Oh Jesus.
So I don't know.
Well, I mean, hindsight 2020.
Who knows? Maybe she's Amy. I don't know.
I have no idea. The only Amy I know is the freaking Amy from Sonic, and in freaking Sonic Prime, she's a robot. So there you go. Anyway, Netflix series. Yes, folks, I actually do watch 1% of things outside wrestling when I can.
That's fair.
Anyway, Lee Moriarty took on Invictus Cash. The match started off and they were going with a lockup, followed by arm drag before some nice back and forth submission holds. Invictus Cash, much more technically sound based on his previous, of course, showcases. Until Moriarty, of course, locked in a full Nelson, but Invictus able to escape, trips him up, goes for a pin. Moriarty kicks out. It was basically a mat game here, even if it was kind of quick. I like the fact that this was just more of a mat game-based presentation than an actual physical match.
I agree.
As Moriarty Cash then rolled over one another over and over again, Moriarty was able to sneakily, well, again, he is a heel. A low blow. That stops anybody's momentum. And pinned him and delivered a leg lariat for the win. There
you go. Really good stuff. I enjoyed this little match here. It was somewhat competitive, so it wasn't a total squash. So there you go.
There was just different pace, different showcase. It wasn't like, they went physical. It was like, okay, mat game, can't get you, low blow, then leg lariat, roll you up.
So, I mentioned this last week, so I want to get your opinion on this. Do you think that the firm should be completely done at this point? Because I feel like everybody would... Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Okay,
yeah, so trust me. I've got more to say.
Now, do you think that Lee Moriarty, Big Bill should stay a thing? And should you add Enzo to that dynamic and make that like a little trio between the three of them?
Considering what we've seen so far with them together as a tag team, it's an interesting dynamic when you consider how technically sound Lee Moriarty is and just you got your physical powerhouse. It's almost like the perfect Strange Bedfellow combination. Enzo being the mouthpiece would definitely bring a whole picture together. I would not necessarily be against it. It just comes down if Enzo can actually work in an environment. Because last I checked, I think Enzo was released or something like that from MLW Fusion. I don't know. So, I mean, again, is Enzo Mori willing to work? How you doing?
I just don't know how he would, like, I could just imagine him doing this whole thing of, my name is Enzo, and I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud. You can't teach that. And he talks about, this right here is Big Bill, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. And then he goes to Lee Moriarty, this right here is Big Liam, and he's the master of Tiger Style, and, oh, wait, shit, you can't teach that. Bill, help me out here. Help me out here!
When they would work on that backstage with Tony Schiavone. I could see something there, though. I definitely could.
Dude, could you imagine the first week? It's like, He says you can't teach that. Lee Moriarty corrects him. Actually, their class is on Tiger Style, and you can't teach that.
Go roll with the gimmick.
Enzo just goes. Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly what he's saying. Roll with the gimmick, dude. You're killing me here.
Oh my gosh! And then he would just
Please.
then he would just do that weird chicken dance while Lee Moriarty plays his air ukulele.
Oh my God! No, it needs to happen now. Damn it! This whole thing needs to happen.
That's gonna become a GIF. That's gonna become a GIF if that ever happens. So
yeah, they're dancing to Amy, 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 Amy,
oh my God.
Amy, Amy.
We're opening a forbidden door that we shouldn't open here. Anyway.
There you go.
Tony Schiavone's backstage with the Varsity Athletes as Smart Mark Sterling is standing by with Arya Daivari, and they ask if all four men, if Daivari is part of the Varsity Athletes, and Sterling says he is, but clarifies he is still the leader of the Trustbusters. So this definitely is not a merger; it is a partnership.
Yeah. What
we
we already know. What was the point of the segment?
I did.
Like, we already knew this.
James, you and I might have knew it. Who's to say the rest on YouTube knew it? Again, YouTube, you're telling people maybe for the first time. You gotta consider, again, man, when you channel surf or when you click a video, you never know what people might tune into.
Imagine if nobody's ever tuned into wrestling in their life and they see this being explained and it'd be like, what's going on?
This is not a court case, I assure you. This is a mutually agreeable partnership inside what is called professional wrestling.
Why is he so damn busy, man? Like, he's busy managing the Varsity Athletes. He's busy trying to get a partnership with the Trustbusters. Meanwhile, he's trying to sue Taya Valkyrie. Like, this guy's everywhere. You can't
He's a lawyer. What'd you expect? He's a lawyer. Friggin' bloodsucker.
This is Sterling, baby. It's the lawyer you've been waiting on.
I still think I would put my trust more into Park, but I don't know what Joseph Park's up to nowadays, or his brother.
Producing matches for the WWE.
I mean, the law firm outside of that. I don't even know where the office is. But
I don't know. Hey, you know, they work on stuff sometimes.
I guess. I don't know how that would get solved in a courtroom, but who knows? The litigation.
Chris
anyway.
and Abyss Incorporated. You know, that's what they changed it to.
Oh, good grief. The friggin' TNT version of Law and Order waiting to happen. To be fair, I like Joseph Park's theme. It literally sounds like an empowering lawyer, and you don't have to play Ace Attorney to believe that either. Anyway.
Hey, listen, oh man, if he came up...
Shit!
Bro, can fucking, like, one day... Either it could be Mark Sterling or Joseph Park, one of the two. It don't matter who. Just comes out to the Ace Attorney theme. I would laugh my ass off.
Oh God!
Please.
This isn't Kenny Omega who came out to Final Fantasy. All right. I don't know if Smart Mark Sterling is that willing to do a crossover.
Incorrect. I believe you mean Undertale.
He dressed up as Sans for Halloween.
He did.
All the crossovers. All the possible crossovers with video games and wrestling. Why the hell not?
Yes, everything.
Oh, gosh. All you're missing is freaking subtitles on a screen during promo. Anyway. Oh, gosh. We are getting way off in the weeds here. All right. Moving on. Hey, talking about video games, the guy that literally brings up the All Elite Arcade. Join the Dark Order. And a guy that's been impressing lately in singles action. Evil Uno took on the Wingmans. Cesar Bononi. Different look. And this was an interesting match that I wasn't sure how to interpret until it really kicked off. And it was okay for what I got. In the early going, waste no time, boot to Bononi, but again, trying to take that big man off his feet. Good luck with that. Series of chops, and Bononi fires back with a gut buster and a running knee. Goes for a pin, but Uno kicks out, then follows up with a couple of overhead chops as they spill to the outside, and then Bononi rocks him with another knee. Brings him back inside the ring, and then Evil Uno, though, fights back as the crowd tries to chant him on, will him on. Fires off some right hands before Bononi delivered a mean power slam. But Evil Uno somehow responds with a boot of his own and a chop that sends Bononi into the top turnbuckle face first, because Bononi's own momentum worked against him as he was going in. After hitting a splash, and then delivers a lariat and a delayed pile driver for the win. Evil Uno with the victory.
Decent little match here. Although, I don't know. Like, I feel like the match, ironically enough, the squash match from last week that Evil Uno had actually furthered the story. I feel like he was just kind of here. And I'm like, isn't he supposed to be a part of this Blackpool Combat Club shit that's going on?
Different dynamics. And then you watch Ring of Honor, he's got something else to deal with, man. So, I mean, again, it's one of those things right now where you think about when these were recorded that confuse things.
Fair enough.
But hey, Cesar Bononi, a singles match. Good for him.
There you go.
And then we move on to the main event as Dark's been lately doing some great main events lately. I gotta appreciate that. This one was pretty darn good too, as we saw the Outcast Tony Storm take on one-on-one Kiera Hogan. And this was a very game back and forth bout. And Tony Storm, by the way, 0F attitude nowadays. I love it. Sends Kiera Hogan early going into the corner, fires off with some mean stomps, followed up though Hogan again, that fiery attitude. Follows up and whips her into the corner.
With fiery hair. With fiery hair.
Hey, there you go. Back to old roots. Slaps Storm and executes a drop toe hold, then delivers double knees to the back of the neck and a mean leg drop. Tony Storm ends up on the outside, so trying to, break down the momentum, but Hogan follows up. Kiera Hogan. I feel like I need to say the actual name because we're like, oh, man. It delivers the tope to a Suicida. Tope Suicida. Easier for others to say. As this match continued going, we find Tony Storm pushes her off and delivers a mean hip attack that sends Hogan crashing to the outside. The meanest hip attack in all Elite Wrestling. There, I said it. And then sends her colliding into the steel ring steps, delivers a chop, tosses her back into the ring. Aggressive nature being shown by Tony Storm we haven't seen in quite a while to this degree. And then Hogan follows up, though, with a few mean right hands and attack in the midsection, but Tony Storm responds with a stomp and a couple of mean snap suplexes. That's always a counter move when it comes to Tony Storm, I assure you. Falls up, though, and then hits her with a drop kick, goes to the top, hits a crossbody for a nice fall, but Tony Storm is able to kick out, grabs onto her ankle. As Kiera Hogan looks to check on her because Tony Storm, again, in that ring, you're not intently out there to hurt each other. But when you're dealing with a heel, the false sense of security, dumb babyface, got jumped for it. As Tony Storm tripped her up and sent her into the middle turnbuckle face first, then followed up with the tornado DDT. But Kiera Hogan, though, hey, she's nobody to take lightly. Followed up with a mean thrust kick and a net breaker. Then Tony Storm delivered a forearm smash and a drop kick and then literally made sure she was in the corner for the meanest hip attack that whole match. Damn, could have took her head off.
Yeah.
But didn't need to, but she still hit the Storm Zero. I honestly, I forgot that hip attack she had her, but hit an emphatic Storm Zero for the win. Sudden impact by Tony Storm in the end. But a good match.
Really good match. Like, this was just so good, man. Like, these two laid their shit in and they just went balls to the wall. Like, this is such a good women's match. As the AEW Women's Division, when presented and given the time, can actually do. And we've seen that lately more so shown on Dark. You think about Diamante and Rijo. You think about I resent that. I thought that ended way too quick. That match.
It is Dark, dude.
Yeah, well, Elevation in particular. I was very upset at how they treated Diamante. One roll-up after two Germans, and then she loses.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Come on, man.
The Dark, to be fair, that was a Dark encore match on Elevation. The Dark match was much better. Elevation, you're right. They undersold it. Big time.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they didn't, but again, it is what it is.
I think they just
sign
Diamante, damn it.
Look, don't get me started on that shit, okay? All right, now let's move into the brainchild of the week. Time for the real fun depth of the conversation as we talk about the April 5th edition of AEW Dynamite, where not only Tony Khan had a huge announcement, it was MJF Day, and 1, 2, 3, 4 titles were on the line this very night, including a tag team career. This was a hell of a show. Let's freaking go. We kick things off with the Revolution being televised, as Absolute Breaker Starks was finally ready to physically get involved with one Juice Robinson.
Yep.
Until Bullet Club 5. And then, well, I think we now know where that free agent officially is now going to be seen, James. Switchblade Jay White showed up.
Still a part of Bullet Club, by the way.
Duh, came out to the Titans.
Still the leader of Bullet Club, by the way. Just,
what the hell?
What the fuck? This just completely fucked everything up. Hits him with the switchblade, leaves him laying, and there's a 2-on-1 beatdown by Bullet Club members. So, I just want to put this in perspective. We got Bullet Club in Ring of Honor, we got Bullet Club in Impact, and now we got Bullet Club in AEW.
Yep.
Nice. I see.
And stay tuned, folks, for further details maybe regarding what Switchblade Jay White's intentions are in this new all-elite era of Bullet Club when we talk about this week of AEW, next week on Spark. But yeah, look, when I looked at the fact how stacked this card was when it came to matches and MJF, we're in Long Island, New York, by the way, Bizarre Woods, you knew it was going to be an interesting show. But Jay White out of nowhere, very opening, damn! Ricky Starks didn't even get to breathe.
Ricky Starks didn't even get to have a match.
Oh.
That was crazy, dude. Like, that's a very rare instance. That was a great pop, too. Like, and honestly, too, like, with everything that's happened, I don't blame them for choosing AEW over the WWE, because I'm not sure if they would have known what to do with him.
Apparently, there was a communication fallout that definitely led to that. But yes, the hottest free agent in professional wrestling, as many, people will tell you, is officially all elite because the graphic was immediately shown following this too. Switchblade Jay White is part of AEW.
And so is Bullet Club officially now. Like, official.
Yeah, with Rockhard Juice Robinson and Switchblade Jay White leading the front.
Yeah. In America. This is crazy, dude. Like, what the fuck is going on? So, if you really think about it, like, Bullet Club's been split up into two different factions. One in Japan, and then one in America. The American people, you got Jay White, Juice Robinson, Chris Bay, Ace Austin, and Kenta. That's a pretty fucking solid 5 group of guys when you really think of the American front.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially considering one of them is the current NJPW Strong Openweight Champion. They own the American brand of NJPW.
They're trying to own American wrestling.
I mean, the brands own the friggin' industry, America, Japan, since freaking 2013. Just saying.
That is fair.
All right. Moving on from there, we go backstage to Tony Schiavone with Chris Jericho, who came out, as you talked about, of course, to Adam Cole's return, celebrating with the girl. The streamers come down there, but Daniel Garcia, he was just there, and he felt like that Daniel Garcia got punched. He's always happy to see one of the boys come back from an injury, but I had to put a stop to this. And basically, he felt like there was not a show of respect to Daniel Garcia. In comes a man that is definitely, indubitably one to realize what the term respect is. As Libelous Keith Lee so eloquently put, that Chris Jericho, you are the living symbol of disrespect. But maybe next week I could teach you a thing or two about respect. The look on Jericho's face in this first time ever teased encounter, I was like, yes, more Keith Lee on Dynamite, please. I need this match. Thank you. And we all know the history with one limitless Keith Lee and Adam Cole, baby, in our NXT, where really that respect came to be. This was awesome.
Loved it, and I will always love that fucking Keith Lee, has the brick shithouse power of the Hulk, but acts and talks like an NBC character from fucking, like, I don't know, World of Warcraft. Greetings and salutations.
He's so eloquent.
I love it.
So eloquent. I love Keith Lee.
I will never get sick of it.
Well, anyway, we'll of course talk about what that led to, but a simple exchange of words, all founded on one keyword right now, enveloping this picture of Daniel Garcia, Chris Jericho, Adam Cole, and Keith Lee. Respect. Where is it found? Where does it need to be found? Where will it be found in the end when all things come around? That is the story right now. I love this. As we move on from there, it was time to get into an actual in-ring match, and damn, this was a hellfire way to kick off with real in-ring action. As the members of the House of Black rise, you talked about, of course, an AEW Rampage when they got laid out, but the best friends earned this opportunity, getting a roll-up win on the Kings of the Black Throne. And then they got obliterated for it. And Orange Cassidy probably broke his fist, literally orange punching Buddy Matthews Trios Championship. So here we go. It was the House of Blacks, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Malachi Black, with Julia Hart in the corner. Taking on the best friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, and of course our current AEW International Champion, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. What a way to make an entrance, by the way. Screw the helicopter. Trent's got his mom. Sue chants running out as Trent's mom Sue rides up to the building with the best friends in the back seat. You gotta love it. There's never a more powerful encouragement than one man's mother, and I stand by that. God bless my mom, who's now sleeping. Anyway, as this match began, this was balls to the walls, physical, offensive action. In the early going, it was Trent and Malachi with roll-up attempts for the wins, following the suplex. Chuck Taylor, though, tagged in. Got his legs kicked up from underneath him, though, by Malachi Black. Then Brody King, the powerhouse. He came into play, ate a kick from Chuck Taylor, though. Buddy Matthews, so damn fucking underrated. I'm going to definitely talk a lot more about that come next week. Anyway, tagged in, and then Orange Cassidy tagged in, and Orange threw his sunglasses at Buddy. Didn't just think about it, he just threw them. And then Buddy picked up Orange and hurt him halfway across the ring, snake eyes into the corner turnbuckle, and things all just went hell from there. Trent at one point jumped out at Black and Matthews, but got caught, and then they hurled him onto the ring apron. They threw Trent towards Brody, who nailed Trent with a forearm. Perfect trios synergy by the House of Black. I cannot tell you how much I love this faction.
Yep.
And as we continue moving on from there, Orange the best friends, though, they tried rallying back, and they did for a moment, throwing Orange from the top to the House of Black outside. But interesting, we had Los Facción Ingobernables watching on from ringside. And they cut to them for a brief moment in the front row.
And remember, there is some history there because the current leader, still, at least in kayfabe, Andrade and Malachi have history.
Ain't that the truth? Andrade get well soon. As this continued moving forward, Malachi planted Trent with a brain buster, spiked him, if you will. Then Orange hit a stun dog millionaire, Malachi Black. And then we see Anna JAS watching on, particularly watching Julia Hart from the monitor, considering what was set up also, of course, because she is a, what's the word I'm looking for? She has a fat ass and a bad attitude. Yeah, that's what she is. She's a sports entertainer. Anyway, buy the shirt if you choose to.
Does that make Matt Menard's nipples hard? We will never know, and I hope I never know.
I don't think Jungle Boy Jack Perry would approve. Meanwhile, you want to really bring everything full circle. You're just setting up Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Matt Menard with that statement, James. Jeez. Anyway, as Orange continued moving forward, he connected the orange punch with Brody. Then Trent planted Brody with a pile driver. I thought we literally were going to have trios champions. Julia Hart couldn't believe it. Brody kicked out.
Yeah.
That was the most like, well, they're not doing it there. They're not getting it. Buddy Matthews, though, he finally comes in the end. And again, the fact that since they have become trios champions, each member effectively has gotten the win for the trio when it came to the prize. It was Buddy Matthews who stomped freaking Chuck Taylor into the mat and pinned him. A very close call, but still our AEW Trios World Champions, the House of Black. And I have to say this. Best friends, again, one of the most hardest working, and win-loss record ratio, by the way, tag teams in All Elite Wrestling. They come up short again for the prize. When are the best friends actually going to get something? I kind of feel bad for them, but I'm glad that House of Black did win that night. That was a great match.
Yeah, they needed the win here. It all comes down to the trios match was great, by the way. Like these two teams were great.
Yes.
And it was crazy how well they did here. Like, and when you really consider the fact that, like, you know, there was different dynamics and everything here, like, it really worked out well. So, I approved.
And so did Julia Hart, subtly clapping at ringside.
Yeah, very, very nonchalantly. Good.
That is Julia Hart.
Yes.
She is not emotionless, but she expresses little to none of it.
Well, I mean, it's just such a weird dynamic. I wonder how Selena Vega feels about Julia Hart running around. But then again, I could probably ask the same about what Rhea Ripley thinks about it with Buddy Matthews, but you know.
I mean, you saw what happened in the Hall of Fame. Respect, but I digress.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, as we talk about WWE, AEW, here's footage shown as one Christian Cage, who was put 6 feet under, found his way back out of a red corridor, and a newly reformed Right Hand of Destruction. Uh-oh. The duo's back. Luchasaurus. Who will be their target? Stay tuned. Oh, jeez. This was weird, but hey, we know Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. They're still part of AEW, and they're still a package deal. So all hell's going to break loose at some point. Physically and preferably. Not much more to say there.
So are they gonna? When are they gonna change Luchasaurus' name to Lucha Tomko?
I have no idea.
I hope it happens.
I mean, it might. Who all we know. Okay, now, personally, this was my match of the night because respect women's wrestling, damn it. Hater hits hard. I'm a hater for life. This was so damn freaking good. As Jamie Hayter, the current AEW Women's World Champion with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, don't forget it, in her corner, took on the first ever AEW Women's World Champion, Riho. And literally, Hayter goes for the haterade immediately. Riho countered. Very smart. With a roll-up, both women going for, well, basically, they're ace in the hole. Because Riho, again, so tenacious. She can catch you so simply with a roll-up. We've seen it countless times. As this match really picked things up, though, nice Hurricanrana counter. But again, Hayter, the power of Hayter. But then she countered with a roll-up and a roll for a nice near fall. And they're going, throwing Hayter off her game a little bit. And that's very smart when it comes to Jamie Hayter. You want to throw Hayter off when it comes to the power game. Disrupt her equilibrium, prevent her from picking up speed, and prevent yourself from being trapped in her clutches. And for the early going, Riho did that. Until Hayter was able to connect with two mean shoulder blocks, but then Riho finally follows up on Hayter with a nice drop kick, jumps off the top rope with a big cross body on Hayter, but Hayter catches little Riho. Remember, folks, she's less than 100 pounds, and plants her with a gut buster. Ouch. As Jamie Hayter kicked Riho to the side of the head, that was mean, and then planted Riho again hard on the ring apron. No give there again. Good grief, this young lady could be broken in half by one of those. Good God almighty. But Riho able to rally back with a nice German suplex, momentum assist, to Jamie Hayter for a 2 count. That surprised the hell out of me. Hayter then able to use a net breaker and a lariat, though, on Riho for a nice near fall, though. As Hayter was able to superplex Riho, bad, mean, hard impact on both. Hayter was able to pick up Riho, though, for a nice brainbuster until Riho countered into a ridiculous DDT that stood Jamie Hayter vertically. Damn!
Yeah. Turned into
still not enough.
She got planted so hard on her head, she went, fuck this shit, I'm a tree.
Yeah, no kidding. You could have took a friggin' free shot. Wow. Riho then sends Hayter flying, though, with Harana off the top rope and connects with flying knees in the corner and then falls up to go for the cover. No. I was sweating here for a moment. Hayter then was able to get to the ropes with her feet, thankfully. That was the only way, by the way, she survived that. She didn't kick out. She was aware. That's how close that fall was. That's fucking impressive. Anyway, as we continue from there, Jamie Hayter was able to come back and nail Riho finally with a mean lariat, but not enough. War cry galore, and once again, give me my dose of Haterade. Still waiting for that product, Tony Khan. Bam! That rep core lariat, though, and that was freaking it. What a hard-hitting affair. Joshi Pro Japanese strong style contest at its finest, with respect also shown afterwards too, as Jamie Hayter was able to put down Riho, proving not only that she hit hard, she is still just starting as the AEW Women's World Champion. Incredible match by both.
Yeah, really good stuff here. All things considered, it was really good. I approve of this match.
And I also approve of the fact that they gave him the time. It was not in the typical spot that we see sometimes that they still work on. And they literally made both look incredibly strong. And this is how you make a women's champion look strong, too. This was really good stuff. I really appreciated what Jamie Hayter and Riho did here. And again, Jamie Hayter, my champion. Loved it. Now you just got to find someone even meaner to hit Jamie Hayter harder so she can hit her harder. I need to see who she defends it against next. And maybe there's a slight idea as we go backstage from Nate Paquette with the Outcast. As we reach Soho, congratulations, graduated her on the defense, but told her not to get too comfortable because one of them will become the AEW Women's Champion. Let's see. Rhea and Ruby Soho had their chance at Revolution in triple threat, not singles.
Yep.
Jamie Hayter won. Toni Storm was the previous AEW Women's World Champion. Jamie Hayter won the belt AEW Full Gear. So, what are you all trying to say here?
Ruby Soho, probably.
Maybe.
I think it's going to be Ruby versus her. That's what they seem to be going through here. I think it's one of those things where it's going to be Ruby versus Jamie at the pay-per-view. It's obviously setting up for a women's blood and guts. I can't imagine they'd be doing anything else. And they have the women to do it too. Like, they have the perfect story they're writing here. Especially when you consider one of these, we've been talking about, the Jericho Appreciation Society girls could join in, but, we've been sleeping on Athena too, who would fit in that dynamic also.
Well, she did say at the media scrum after Ring of Honor that, I'm doing my own thing here, but for the right price. Yeah, I used to roll with those girls. I wouldn't mind helping, so maybe they, put a bid in, and maybe you will see Athena part of that. She definitely right now is a whole different champion on another level, especially if you watch Ring of Honor. By the way, Ashley Dubois, great match, great debut. But again, I digress.
Again, they could flip this whole Outcast thing on its head, and it doesn't just have to be WWE stars too, because the way Ruby brought it up in the initial promo as well, Thunder Rosa could easily be on their side too.
Good. Again,
could see it.
Cleared.
Yeah.
I have to wait and see. Chance to get medical cleared. Again, all the best to those that are still injured, including but not limited to Thunder Rosa, Legit Later, Hirsch, the Bunny, and of course, Kyle O'Reilly. Those are the ones I know so far that are
Dante Martin too. Dante Martin too.
Yeah, Dante Martin.
Recently.
Thank you. I almost forgot about that. Yeah. So again, it's nobody ever wants to see or personally wants to actually injure somebody. You just hope that they actually come back from it.
Yeah.
So again, to all those people, to anybody out here in the industry, please take care of yourselves. May you get well soon. Get back to the passion that you love so much too. And that definitely goes for one Josh Alexander and Mickie James. But I digress.
Yes.
Now, you did talk about the Jericho Society earlier, so let's go ahead and talk about if, we're going to see the Acclaim become strictly one to entertain. As the Jericho Society, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Jake Hager were on the ramp to get the decision from the Acclaim. And basically, Don DeMarco freestyle, very subtle lately he's been, talking about how these guys are trying to see if we are going to join them. Basically, what Angelo Parker interpreted is that sounds like you want to fight together.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
basically,
That's what
impromptu.
Impromptu 8-man tag.
Yeah. Yep. So, there you go. And that was booked for Rampage. As we move on from there. All right. Now, everybody get your Burberry scarves out, if you still have them, as we celebrate the hero of Long Island. Because Bizarro World welcome in who they truly not look at as the devil, but as literally a hero, a role model, the best thing to come out of Long Island. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, made his triumphant return to his home turf as the AEW World Champion. And you would think you were at a nightclub party with this presentation. What the fuck, James?
Mm-hmm.
Big band.
This
Welcome
worked.
to MJF Day. I am your host with the most, MJF. And then he sang a rousing rendition of, I kid you not, Pennies from Heaven. And literally gave the scat man a run for his money.
So good here, by the way.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Dude, this was so pompous and arrogant, but also he was so good. He was just so good. I don't know, man.
Not singing either.
Yeah, I feel like every week on this program, we're just singing the praises of the man known as MJF. Every week. There's not... You give this guy any segment, and he'll hit it out of the fucking park. This was just incredible. He was just so good. The crowd loved it. He got the key to the fucking city. He got an even bigger key to the fucking city because the mayor is or who got booed out of the building? The town coordinator or whatever to get booed out of the fucking building.
This is proof that pro wrestling cannot put everything over. They can't put over politicians.
Good. I concur. Now, if only they get rid of the backstage politics out. As much as they hate politicians in real life.
That's a proverbial thing versus a physical thing, unfortunately, James. But yeah, and then the acceptance speech, where he talked about, give you a story, about a young kid who suffered from ADD. Talk about all the people in the house. You suffer from that. What's up? And then
ADD chant. ADD chant.
ADD chant.
By the way.
Talked about this teacher that literally took advantage of him, would prey on his weakness. And at one point asked him to give an answer. He didn't know it. She laughed in his face. On the last day of school, she literally asked where the brain was because he couldn't pay attention. And what did Maxwell Jacob Freeman said? Professional wrestling! And literally she said, Maxwell, the probability of you being champion is slim to none. Well, it looks like your math was a bit off because I now have the key long season and the AEW World Champion. So if there's one thing that you all can take away from this, don't grow up to be a dumb bitch.
Oh my god, yeah. What was the name? What was her name? Benedict. Yeah, Miss Benedict. Yeah, like, I love how her name is Miss Benedict. Like, dude, it's such a, like some sort of pancake brand name. Miss Benedict. Like, something straight out of the fucking, like, early bird special menu. Like, Eggs Benedict.
Funny enough, I had Eggs Benedict literally this past Sunday at church.
There you go.
Oh, my God. But yeah, and to be fair, the opening statement of this was, it's a huge honor, and then there's people out there that don't deserve this, like Jungle Boy, like Sammy Guevara, like Darby Allin, All three men got booed. Again, Bizarre World, AEW, MJF's world. We're just all living in it, and we were spectating it. And then, literally, MJF asked in the arena if they wanted to hear an encore. And here comes a guy planting symbols in MJF's head. And he was so damn annoyed as he was trying to cue up the band. We knew who that was underneath there. People called it. People sensed it. And boy, the hell did they boo it.
It was Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. And
no love lost.
And they were just fucking fighting. And as they're fighting, Sammy Guevara. And then he just walks out, strolls, holds the title up like a dick. He's really pissed off now. MJF, yet another celebration ruined because of these fucking these jummos here in his mind. And
the AEW World Championship storyline continues to just develop and fall apart at the seams.
And meanwhile, as they're doing that, they're giving guys opportunities alongside this storyline, this main arc here. Because it's Sammy Guevara versus Commander. Oh boy. Yay.
Well, James, you and I both knew what we were going to get out of this match to a degree. And then Commander surpassed that with his hang time. Jesus.
Yes, they did.
In the early going, though, Sammy Guevara tried to take advantage of Commander and blindside him when he was getting out of his green jacket. But then Sammy got wiped out in the early going after a thrust kick. And Commander walked, I kid you not, walked the ropes and hit a freaking shooting star press onto Sammy.
Yeah.
And then he runs the ropes and jumps off the top. My gosh, can I get that in slow motion? And then eats a stiff counter. What encounter shot by Sammy Guevara. Damn. That was just what, the first 5 minutes of that? As Commander does fight back, walks across the ropes again, springboarding down onto Sammy. Commander hits a Phoenix Splash. Again, Commander's running for he's got Excalibur, I feel like, at this point, is losing himself, and he's the guy wearing the Lucha mask. How about that? As Commander fights back, though, goes for another shooting star press. Sammy was able to counter with rising knees. Darby Allin, us the pillars are watching. Darby Allin is seen watching from the rafters. He doesn't watch from a TV. Again, Commander, though, continues walking the ropes every possible chance he gets, but then Sammy brings him down hard with a cutter, and then Sammy finishes off Commander with the GTH. By the way, this cutter, Sammy literally caught Commander walking in off the ropes, and then goes off the corner himself and catches him with his own springboard cut. What the hell interception was that? And how was that not the ending?
Bro, it was, yeah, he got the GTH after that, and then he fucking did the tightrope walk interception, bro. That motherfucker brings a whole new term to picked off intercepted from Madden. Like, he's just like, my ball, fuck you.
Yeah, no kidding. No cheat code needed. What the hell? And then this was interesting. Now, you and I have talked about Sammy Guevara, the competitor, but you have also been very critical at times of Sammy Guevara, the individual.
Well, have I? I've always defended him.
Well, I mean, except for the whole backstage retort. Well, I mean,
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what though? I will say this. So, did you? We did see. We said we weren't going to talk about the what do you call it? And fucking. We weren't going to cover All Access, but I do want to say, did you see the episode with how Tay Conti's been like behind the scenes with Sammy?
I've seen every episode, and I'm probably going to work with the HW crew, and we'll do like a simple takeaway from this season, because we now know where the season's heading, at least right now. Yes, I've seen every episode, and right now we really are getting an idea where Ty Mello fits in the ecosystem. It's kind of sad to see.
It really is. But I will also say that, man, Tay Conti, Sammy made the right decision. I'm convinced. Like, that woman is the best thing that ever happened in his life. Like, bar none. Like, that is a real one to, like to have a woman go and pray before every match and root for you to be the best you can be while she herself is not doing so great. Dude, that's a fucking keeper. Like, anybody that hates this fucking duo, man, like, I'm convinced this series is going to turn them babyface after this. They may have to leave the JAS after this. I'm not even kidding you. Like, this series turned them babyface for me officially.
If not the series, if it wasn't Bizarro World, you almost wonder if this promo was going to turn Sammy babyface. When Sammy basically talked about taking the mic from Tony Schiavone. Tony, I did something the world champion doesn't do. I wrestled. What was that I was just watching? American Idol? Damn.
Yeah, he's just fucking, and he's like, hey, you guys can fucking boo me, I don't care. It's so weird, because he's a heel, but he's like being a babyface to everybody else, but he's also a heel. He's been a heel, and he's a part of a heel group. It just is what it is.
I mean, again, you look at this promo, man. You're literally oscillating the fact right there. I mean, he talked about how Max, he didn't do anything on his own. He always had people did it for him. Yeah, you beat me, but somebody else beat me for you. I had you beat until another person you used came out to help you. You didn't beat me. Sean Spears in the chair did. The chairman, of course. You lied, you cheated, you manipulated your way to the top. And honestly, Tony, I'm almost jealous of it. But Max, who are you? You were Cody's friend, and then you're not. You were Tony's friend, and then you're not. You were the inner circle, and then you were not. You sold your soul. I built this bit by bit, moment by moment. I put my heart and soul into this. So you can boo me, you can cheer me. I'm not going anywhere. I love AEW. I'm not using this place to go anywhere else. I met my wife here. I made events at pay-per-view. Screw Darby Allin, screw Jungle Boy, and screw MJF.
Yeah. What a promo. Holy shit.
Yeah. Why he was getting booed out the building for the whole thing of it.
Yeah. Yeah, he relished in this, man. Like, he seized the moment here. Really good shit by Sammy. Man, like, these are the four pillars, man. Like, this is the future of the fucking industry in these four. And it's really awesome to see. This is really awesome to see, dude. Really good shit.
Yeah, all I know, James, you and I got one hell of a call come Double or Nothing.
Oh, no doubt. Holy shit.
And they haven't booked anything yet.
We just know that match is happening, and it hasn't even been official.
It's just a matter of how does the match come to being official. Just saying. But we'll talk more about that later.
Or as Dane Drops would say, super official! There you go.
Yeah, fair enough. And of course, as we talk about this week of AEW, come next week's Spark, we really are going to get more in depth with this with another pillar. So stay tuned, folks.
Real quick, before you continue, because we got Zero in the chat, I just want to give a little acknowledgement to the boy. Sorry I'm late. I was watching ECW with some guys. This storyline is pretty interesting. Hopefully it ends up with a four-way match. I want it to be a four-way elimination, and it'd be crazy. Show them why they are the pillars. I think it just would be a better standard fatal four-way to give everybody proper shine. But yeah, fair enough too. I can see it either way.
well, again, you saw the Fatal 4-Way for the Ring of Honor World Championship with Claudio, Bryan Danielson, and Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. It was non-elimination, but all for Mankind, particularly Sammy Guevara, which, again, he was the youngest, most inexperienced among that field. He needed to really hold himself up the most here amongst three of the absolute best. And he did.
Boy, did he. Yeah, he did.
So, again, hindsight's 20/20, but there's no denying Sammy Guevara's heart when it comes to working for AEW. There's no denying it.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's also no denying that Hook is the still undefeated, cold-hearted, handsome devil that made Ethan Page look like a fool in the early going, as this was an actual championship match for the FTW Championship that happened next, if you want to call it that. In the early going, T-Bone suplex on the outside of the ring. Ethan Page, though, was able to take Hook into the steel ring post and then attempted the Twist of Fate, but Hook countered with a Twist of Fate of his own. What the hell? Picture perfect. Isaiah Cassidy, though, tries to jump on the apron to distract the ref. Ethan Page looks to grab Hook's title, but Matt Hardy pulled away and clocked Ethan Page with it, which allowed Hook to clock in the red rum on Ethan Page, and the ref was forced to stop the match as Hook fist bumped Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy, and Ethan Page was left in the middle of the ring in embarrassment.
You know why? By the way, you know why that was done, right? Are you aware of why that it happened?
Oh, I got a pretty good idea.
So, it's because in the contract, if Hook defeated Ethan Page after Matt looked over the contract, that's the provision he put in. They would be free from the firm.
Well, not exactly free, but they would be free from being ordered around. The contracts will still be under control, but they are free to act on their own merits. They're still under the firm, but as we learned this week when we talk about it, there might be more than meets the eye to that clause.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was fun stuff. Not much more to say. Hook again, undefeated.
True.
Longer match, 8 minutes.
Yeah. Was what it was, man.
I mean, again, when you're in the ring with Hook, it is what it exactly is. You're in there, and he takes care of business. He red rums you, and he leaves. Simple as that. And apparently, he can do a Twist of Fate. So
you don't even know me.
There you go, Action Bronson, great thing. All right, now we move forward to Tony Khan's announcement. And
wow,
as Nigel McGuinness introduces Tony Khan, they stand together, and then they bring Adam Cole in as they announce in their anticipated UK debut, they will go celebrate Wembley Stadium's 100th year, celebrating their first chance to go across the pond for AEW. It was the show that was the genesis of what became AEW. Now they plan to bring it back, but they're going all in London. All in London. The first ever AEW event across the pond will be in August from Wembley Stadium, one of the most famous sports arenas in the entire world, celebrating its centennial this year. That is fucking incredible. Congratulations on this huge chance for AEW to really show what they're capable of to, I feel, an audience long in the waiting.
This is nuts, dude. Like, holy shit.
Wembley Stadium, James!
Yeah.
Wembley Stadium!
Yeah, that's a big one.
Whoa!
Last time there was a pro wrestling event in Wembley Stadium was SummerSlam 1992.
Yep.
That is over 21 years ago.
Yep.
Or no, 31 years. No, is it 31 years ago?
Wait. 31.
Yeah, it's 31 years ago.
Fuck,
even
it's all right.
longer.
I got
Even
you.
longer than a...
And as my friend Sandy pointed out, that stadium has been rebuilt from the ground up to back in the early 2000s. But like you alluded to, it has not seen wrestling, keyword, professional wrestling, since that event.
Yep. It's
That's
gonna be
crazy.
Huge, dude. Huge. That market in the UK is huge, AEW fans. Like, huge, dude. Like, they're gonna fucking sell the hell out.
I'm just going to leave it at this because I'm a guy that doesn't believe in just number hype and all ratings bullshit and all this and that. Oh, this company did this, did that. Up yours. Everyone's a fan. As long as the company's being supported, who gives a shit who does the biggest numbers? You just want to see them grow, but it doesn't matter who's number one. You friggin' love number one so much, go suck their cock. Now, meanwhile, that's how heated I get about that shit. Now, meanwhile, hey, we're going over to the UK. They can go eat some spotted dick. Anyway, it's pudding, you folks. Calm down. Now, as I was saying.
That's a double entendre. Bang, bang. Don DeMarco.
Hey, I am what I am. Deal with it.
I am whatever you say I am.
Look, I'm not trying to go street on you.
Sorry.
I'll leave it at that.
Good.
Cheers to you. Yeah. That being said, this is going to be definitely their biggest attendance to date, in my opinion. You think about what they accomplished, what they've done with Grand Slam the last 2 years, and they've peaked at over, what, 20,000? Something like that? You think about the first dance at the United Center, I think that peaked over 20,000. I could literally see Wembley Stadium at least being double that, if not more. This is huge chance for AEW. It's not put up or shut up, but it's a first impression. You only get one first impression. You gotta do it right.
I agree. And
bring all parties involved.
Yes.
And local-wise, too. Progress.
Yes.
Talent that, might be... You think about the talent pool, the passionate fan base, the history of professional wrestling out of the UK era. Not just the UK era, Europe in general.
Hell, bring a pool.
Put
the talent in it. Like an actual pool. I'm talking spring break, like Kevin Nash.
We might be at the end of the summer and we don't need a pool around ringside.
Hey, listen. Spring break, that show ruled. I'm just saying. WCW spring break.
You know what?
Kevin Nash doing a cannonball was still cool. And then
fair enough.
MJF getting super kicked in the pool was even better.
Clearly, I can definitely see clearly all in. They're going to include our companies. You got to bring all the players in. You got to bring Stardom. You got to bring NJPW. You got to try and bring Impact. You got to bring in some local UK promotions as well because you got to get the shine of the local talent. Hey, I'm Mara Jade, AEW. Go check it out as a fan or see if you get booked. Please follow my friend Mara Jade. She continues her wrestling career. All the best, my friend. Good luck in your pursuits. Very proud of how far you've come. You're always AEW for life. We always got your back. Cheers to you, Mara Jade. Proving that Jay is the most precious gem of them all. Anyway, it's one of those things where I'm like, wow. I knew they were going to go over to the UK because they talked about it, but Wembley Stadium was not on my radar. I thought they were going to do something like the friggin' ballroom that they did the NXT UK tournament in, or a friggin' smaller venue, but no, they're like the football stadium there, pretty much. I mean, come on now. That's crazy.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. I'm looking forward to it. We had Adam Cole talk to it during this, didn't he?
He briefly talked about it, because again, who's better to make this announcement than Adam Cole, baby? Because Adam Cole, he has a lot of history with big announcements. He has a lot of history with the UK and with Europe. He has a lot of history with professional wrestling as well. So, it just tells me that Adam Cole is going to play a key role in some capacity. It's just a matter of who else. If you don't headline this thing somehow with Jamie Hayter and a marquee opponent, you are dropping the ball. You did say Ruby Soho for the upcoming pay-per-view. There is a number of the Outcasts that is native to that area, too.
Yeah, Saraya. True. Jamie Hayter
very
and Saraya,
curious to see what they do here. I am very, very invested.
You also got to keep in mind too, like, the 4-way deal I pitched.
Yes.
If they get Phil back, that's when you do that particular 4-way.
We'll talk more about that rather later, I'm sure.
You have to do it there, because if anybody is going to react to that shit, it's going to be the UK crowd, because they know everything that happened. So,
that's the truth.
Like that 4-way and the history that they all have, kayfabe and backstage, whatever it is, like that's the time to do the 4-way between Paige, MJF, Punk, and Omega. Like that's the time.
Well, considering you got Money in the Bank there in the UK, where they're going to try and go all out in July, then you have All In for AEW the following month, the end of the month, August. And you got Forbidden Door really kicking things off for the summer in Toronto. There's a lot of ground to play with.
There's wrestling is all over.
Yeah, damn right. It's a beautiful thing. Honestly, Julia, she's a British, Italian, Japanese versus Jamie Hayter. That'd be an interesting shout. The World of Stardom champion versus the AEW Women's World Champion. Although, I do wonder if Stardom will be doing their 5-star Grand Prix, their G1 Climax during that time as well. That's another thing I need to consider because, I'm safe with Japan because, stay tuned, folks, by the way, as always, the annual coverage from beginning to end of sorts with me and Casey Gallagher for the G1 Climax 33 will be coming, of course, this summer, as G1 Climax dates have been known, and the G1 Climax ends, I believe, August 18th. So, yeah, there's that. So, again, a lot of things to think about, but maybe I'm thinking too deep here because we have to keep going forward now, back to America. Trios match at the Blackpool... What the hell was this?
Yeah, right.
Jon Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli once again united with Bryan Danielson, as you talked about last week. They literally came in, they decimated these three, what Bryan Danielson are now calling, I guess that's the one word now for the new Bryan Danielson, amateurs. Amateurs. As Yuta tapped out one of them in successfully quick fashion after an insanely fast, brutal mauling. And him and Rampage came out after we were asking, where are the Young Bucks, huh? Where Kenny Omega, huh? They are not the elite, we are. And Bryan Danielson basically kept calling everybody amateurs. Him and Rampage came down and basically talked about how I may have went home to my family. Do you know what I love, though, besides my family? I love Claudio Castagnoli. I love Jon Moxley. I love William, even though he's a little shit sometimes. But I also love professional wrestling. Everyone else to us are just amateurs. We are the only real professional wrestlers in this building tonight. Hell, from what I've seen this week, we are the only professional wrestlers in all damn America tonight. America. Gee, what is that implying? And then, before this, he talked about, when I was home, I taught my daughters a few things around the house to be fixed up. I think the house that is AEW needs to be fixed up from all these amateurs. Something that's more scary than a freaking spike to your eye out of dead space, with the word amateurs coming in closer and closer and closer to you, constantly yelling in your face. Bryan Danielson, I kid you not, screwdriver, Heyman Rampage's eye. What the hell?
Yeah, right.
And now you have a one-eyed cowboy, I guess.
Yeah, he went from cowboy to pirate.
I mean, Jon Moxley's also no stranger to having one eye. Remember that?
Oh my God! Eye for an eye.
Or Spike from Christian. But damn. So yeah, who could freaking oppress or freaking challenge the Blackpool Combat Club at this point? That are now back in full force. That is not going to be considered an amateur. Good grief. I like this though. I like this Bryan Danielson. I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, I'm very happy. And dude, if Punk joins the BBC or BCC, dude, what the fuck? If that's the war games they're building up to with the entire Elite versus Punk and the Blackpool Combat Club, oh my fuck!
All right, now you know. Look, I've already had enough spots on my bingo card checked off. That would basically make me shred that bingo card up and be like, I won bingo, give me all the money in the world.
I won bingo. I won bingo. Yeah, blood and guts would be nuts with the. I just don't know how safe it would be to have Punk in an environment like that after he just came back from injury, though.
Exactly.
That's like the only thing that makes me hesitant that he would even be involved in that shit.
Well, keep in mind, James, we don't even know when Blood and Guts is going to be. There's no affirmed date. Last year, they were in Detroit, Michigan, but Detroit, Michigan's even earlier this year, May 10th. Whether or not I go, that's a whole different story. So, again, nothing's been confirmed. And, again, we'll talk further about this when we get up to date next week, Tuesday, talking about this week, All Elite Wrestling. But, damn, Blackpool Combat Club, they don't get a shit.
Damn, Danielson, you scary.
And that's a fact, Jack.
Yeah, Zero said it for us, too, by the way, Blood and Guts, maybe. There you go.
Again, it just seems like it's writing itself, right? But do Blood and Guts for the first time ever? Who knows? Meanwhile, as we prepare for our main event, of course, Excalibur gave us the rundown towards what's to come. More brief than usual. It was made official, of course, that Keith Lee was going to take on Chris Jericho one-on-one. And this Friday, or that Friday, excuse me, on AEW Rampage, it was Darby Allin in one-on-one action, as well as some other stuff that we will get into. But with that being said, it was time for the main event, as we were going to see if top guys were truly out or here to stay. Career versus titles. As the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, what the fuck are these white boys coming out to 50 Cent for in freaking 2023?
I couldn't believe this entrance. I couldn't believe this entrance. I was like, why the fuck are they coming out to 50 cents? What is going on?
50 Cent in 2023 played for a couple of pure white boys in All Elite Wrestling. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That took me off my damn guard. Damn. Anyway, FTR coming out with a rousing ovation, stars in the crowd, all the stars possible. Eat your heart out, Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, right.
Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood putting it all on the line, and it was some pretty early tag team offense in the early going. Quick back and forth. Trademark tandem offense shown by both sides, catching a shrining drop kick by Colton and Cash with a drop kick, and then Austin basically held on Cash's boots. Colton used a knee lift lariat combo on Cash for a near fall, and behind the rest back, so many damn spots here behind Paul Turner's back. The Guns were taking every advantage possible. And then literally, it's basically turned into handicap, and there they're going. Dax finally takes down Colton with a short arm lariat, rolls him up though with inside cradle for a nice near fall. FTR DDTs Alston duel. And then Dax and Cash, tandem tag team offense. They nail Austin with a spike pile driver for a 2 count. Mm-hmm. As this continued, FTR played Austin with their finisher. The Big Rig goes for the pin, but Colton pulls Austin outside of the ring. Cash Wheeler, though, falls up with a backslide, though, and then Austin blasts Cash with a low blow, trying to get disqualified. But Cash stopped the referee from calling disqualification, even after they were trying to use the championships earlier. Because, again, they knew if they didn't win here, they were gone altogether from AEW. The Guns using every method possible to get disqualified. But refs' leniency, refs' discretion, and considering the freaking...
And a lot of begging.
Freaking obligation of the match. Paul Turner wasn't going to take that shit. No. And no one was, all right? You wanted to leave that place with a riot? As this match continued, Colton slides in with the tag title of the ring, but the ref stops it, and then when the ref tries to put that title away, Colton slides the other title as Dax goes for broke with a diving headbutt, Jesus Christ, and hit his damn head on that title. Dax isn't human. Fight like an 8-year-old girl, fight like a man against the world. Literally kicked out on his own power. How is that even possible? As the Guns went for the 310 to Yuma, FTR was able to roll up the Guns with a double pin and suddenly got the win. FTR are once again the AEW World Tag Team Champions for the second time.
Yes.
And they are here to stay in AEW. And apparently, as it was also told to me by Paul and the Open Mic Night crew, FTR has signed an extension. They are around for the long haul, at least for the next 4 years in AEW.
Yep. Really good
and what
shit.
an ending.
Yeah.
Two-time AEW Tag Team Champions. And Mark Briscoe joined them in the ring to celebrate.
Exactly. So
Top
good.
guys victorious.
They won the tag team titles yet again, man. Dude, they're gonna be, but when all is said and done, I don't think they're done when it comes to getting more gold. They're still gonna they still have titles they gotta win, but they're up there as part of the most decorated teams in all of history, in tag team wrestling. That's their legacy, and they're not even done yet. They're not even done yet.
Nope.
So
it feels like finally the AEW Tag Team division, though, has been restored to a better state at the top because the Guns, brash, arrogant, young, just starting. Damn sure it was not their time. Nobody was buying into it. The only reason they got over was because everyone chanted ass boys for them. Nice to see some true tag team chants, but I am still a bit begrudged it came at the expense of the Acclaim, which was an originally created over act in AEW that's kind of fallen to the wayside. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was booked for Rampage. The 8-man tag, of course, with fucking the Acclaim, the Jericho Society. Hook took on the only going page for the FTW Championship under FTW rules, which meant anything goes, basically. Taya Valkyrie and Jade Cargill had a sit-down. Anna JAS was finally going to go one-on-one with Julia Hart. Hey, her freaking on-screen return to in-ring action outside the house show. Damn, I wish I went to that. And also, Darby Allin took on, I believe it was Lee Moriarty from the firm with Big Bill in the corner, because that's just how things work. And was there one other thing? Oh, yeah, and Swerve was also going to talk, too. I just was looking at the clip notes.
Yeah. There you go.
But that was AEW Dynamite from Long Island. Once again, bizarro world indeed. FTR, though, back to top glory. Incredible women's championship match. And MJF, again, proves that he could do no wrong in and out of the ring.
Yep. Really good show this week. A- effort. Really good. I enjoyed it. It was nothing that really overly offended me. I thought it was a great show.
And with that announcement, too, that's definitely going to be sitting on everyone's mind.
That's definitely a huge one. Real quick, I do want to say, before we move on to the next shows, we're probably
Rampage and Battle of the Belts.
What we're going to do is a little bit different, because typically, if we do a Jeff Meacham watch-along presentation of events that we do watch-alongs for, we don't go super in-depth. So what I did was, in the link in the chat, I have linked you all to our real-time reactions, as Noah and I called the action for Battle of the Belts and Rampage that week.
Fun.
So that's what we're going to do there. However, we are going to give brief thoughts on each match. So, Noah, you don't have to break each match down like you normally would. We'll just give our brief thoughts on each match.
So, we know Hook can definitely fight in the streets and in the crowd, as he and Ethan Page went all out.
Hey,
in the opener.
Hey, you know what they say? Hook's a fucking brawler in the streets and a freak in the sheets. You know.
Yeah, apparently T-Bone suplexes galore all over the place, then attempted Eagle's Edge counter, and as we saw in the end, he was able to catch him with a lariat, and basically we know Hook could take a bump as he was basically taken through the timekeeper table. We saw the Ferns, Matt Hardy, Isaiah Cassidy watching on backstage. This was some more aggressive back and forth action, but basically once again the result was the same. Red Rum, he tapped out.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good match. I say this match was the best that these guys had. Very good match. Very, very fun match. I will say, too...
the audience got their fair share, that's for sure.
Since I brought it up, I have to ask, did you see a clip of Hook? This is a very specific clip. And he's, like, hanging out for a little bit with these guys. I think they happen to be in the same store, and they just happen to get him on film. I forget what vlog crew it was. I think it was Sammy's crew. And there was, like, a Funko Pop he was thinking about getting, but he didn't know. And then later on, they come out of the same thing. And he's like, so why didn't you get the Funko Pop? He's just like, I got to save my money for something more important, right? And then, somebody clipped that, and they showed clips minutes later of what he meant by that. Hook's at a fucking strip club, fucking tipping a stripper and give him a lap dance. I'm not fucking making this up. Like, this is what legit happened. And I'm like, that's my motherfucker right there.
Well.
Oh, my gosh.
Dollars put towards work, not put to work, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, again, you know what? Hook does what he does. So, you know what? Young man like women, I guess.
I do. Hey, listen. I agree. All
right, well, moving on from there. Good grief almighty. Afterwards, by the way, Hook literally sent Ethan Page through that table in the corner with a T-bone suplex.
Of course he did.
Because he could.
Why not?
Why not? So why not, right? Well, why not? Oh, gosh. Right. Meanwhile, the Acclaim were not here to solely entertain, but boy, did they get their receipt.
Yeah.
After this 8-man tag that might as well have been, what's the word I'm looking for? A freaking normal tag with 4 spectators, 2 on each side. Bowens with a quick move and then uses the arrival. Caster hits Fames with a mic drop, and we do not see Menard and Parker at all brought into the ring as they were knocked off by the infantry. Oh, it was the infantry here and some other dude. LSG and Bobby Orlando. I almost said
LSG, top rope boy. Hello.
There you go. And basically, what you fought was a partnership because you thought you were going to get four-way scissoring. No, they're going to show us done with Daddy Ass. That got weird. Jake Hager basically planted Daddy Ass, and Matt Menard and Joe Parker planted the Acclaim with double DDT. So I guess the offer was rejected or recalled. You tell me. But there you go.
I'm cool with this feud. I think it works. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to these promo battles. I mean, you saw Matt Menard's road to this week when we talk about, again, this week, next week. I was like, again, Matt Menard, good grief, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It makes his nipples hard, from what I understand.
It's actually something much different. Meanwhile, Swerve was backstage with an announcement, and basically he was on his own, as his boys, local affiliates, nowhere to be found. But just because he hasn't any soldiers doesn't mean he does lost the war.
Hey, listen.
He just needs to recruit.
Hey, listen. He had Tech-9 with him like a few weeks back, so yeah.
I guess that's a different soldier or maybe a propaganda machine. You tell me. At the end of the day, he said, there you go. At the end of the day, he said there was a merger. So Swerve has joined forces with, well, you have to find out later tonight. But it's going to be a good one. All right, so Swerve making moves. We'll see what that leads to here shortly, too, as we did see what happened. Well, I wouldn't say the $1 million moves, but they're definitely more effective moves. Yeah, it was Lee Moriarty, by the way. Darby Allin, a pillar. Again, the pillars working their ways in the rankings, proving themselves to be worthy of the challenge for the AEW World Championship, considering MJF has beaten all three men. There's no denying that. Darby Allin, once again, showing his intestinal fortitude, literally, and his tenacity against the one of Tiger Style himself, Lee Moriarty, with Big Bill. That name. This was a really great back and forth match, but we saw how many times Big Bill came into play, and at one point, literally, it's like if you were to shoot a bullet at a steel wall, does it have any effect? Darby Allin literally surprising Lee Moriarty with a cold red, and then rockets out at Big Bill, but basically at one point it did nothing. It was like, bink. Although later it actually did have some effect, finally taking Big Bill over to the barricade. In the end, he hit the coffin drop after Lee came very close to trapping Darby Allin in multiple submission holds. And Darby Allin continued his work on his road to challenge for the AEW World Championship. As he goes up, though, Swerve meets him at the ramp. The history of these two, going back all the way before AEW, just saying it. He offered his hand to Darby. Was it respect? Was maybe this the merger? Was he looking to endorse him? No, because from behind, the freaking machine, Brian Cage, took Darby Allin out with Prince Nana and literally F10 the man onto the ramp. Jesus. So the merger is apparently local affiliates has become merged with the embassy. So now Swerve and Prince Nana are business partners.
Yeah. That's
Did not see that coming.
Bro, this is way more terrifying than what the fuck he had before. Fuck Trench, fuck Parker. This is way more terrifying, dude. He's got the gates of agony and Brian fucking Cage. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like you said, all they're missing is a female representative.
Yeah, exactly. True.
Surprised they haven't tried recruiting a female with her dominance. Anyway.
She's too goofy. She's too goofy for them because she's like, yay! I get to hurt people.
Hey, but you can back it up. You can be as goofy as you want. Look at her record.
True.
I rest my case.
True that.
Anyway, as we move on from there, this sit-down was not goofy, but boy, was this poorly orchestrated by RJ City. As he tried to mediate between Jay Cargill and Taya Valkyrie. Neither one of them were hearing any of it. Not much more to be said.
RJ City is like
this dude.
The zit on the posterior of life. Like, every time I see him, he doesn't do anything good. He makes things worse. Just you're too awkward. Just stop it. Just stop
awkward?
He's too awkward, dude.
That's an interesting take.
I don't know how else to say it, dude. Like, RJ City, he's just like, I wanna be nice. You know who he reminds me of? Who the fuck's the chick from Bob's Burgers? Bob's wife. Like, that's who he reminds me of. He's got the personality of Bob's wife. Like anything that goes wrong, and he has like one thing go wrong, and they'll just puke everywhere, all over.
Oh, jeez. I'm glad I don't watch Fox. Or don't have Fox either. Anyway, yeah, and so much for that litigation lawsuit against the move Jada versus Valhalla, Road Valhalla too. So, the crazy La Wea Loca versus that B. Stay tuned.
There you go.
Meanwhile, we go backstage. Excuse me. We also learn, of course, our Battle of the Belts card. It will be the AEW International Championship being defended as first Cruiserweight Cassidy defends against LFI's Dralistico, which I found was very interesting. Jay Cargill took on the sensation, I like to say, of the independent scene of things, Billy Stocks. Again, folks, 18 years of age, 4 years in the game, has already wrestled in Japan and 23 different states this year alone. Just saying. And, of course, in the main event, it was the Ring of Honor World Title Champions being defended by the Lucha Bros against QTV because Powerhouse House has a pinfall video over both Rey Fenix and Penta Cielo. QT Marshall is his tag team partner. First time ever tag team setup. But before that, it was time for the main event as Anna JAS finally came back from whatever to take on the House of Black's Julia Hart.
From having a fat ass, save her for broken ribs because she has a bad attitude or whatever the fuck she said.
Hey, you know what? She's also a sports entertainer. So hey, you sell, you get a T-shirt out there, you make.
I'm a sports fat ass attitude the bad entertainer thing. Whoa.
Hey, you do what you need to on TV. Here's the difference. Anna Jay's on Rampage. Ty Metal's not.
Oh, burn.
Facts are facts, pal. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, hey, you know, she's been on Dynamite a few times. It's okay.
When?
She was on this week's Dynamite, just in a segment, wasn't she? She was staring at Julia Hart menacingly.
Oh, boy. Anyway, this was pretty short back and forth on a Jay with all the sports entertainer mannerisms. Nice thrust kick, though, and a standing moonsault press. But Julia Hart was having none of it, literally suplexing on a Jay off the turnbuckles, following up with a nice moonsault, constantly countering the Queen Slayer. As Anna Jay constantly kept going for it, Julia was able to find her way to the ropes, while spilling outside of the ring. Reference distracted as Anna Jay makes her way inside the ring first. Goes after Julia Hart, but Julia Hart, first time I've seen her use this actually in a match, so that was interesting. Maybe this means a whole different vision now for the sports entertainer. Just saying. Poison mist right to the eyes. The sports entertainer blinded, and Julia Hart with a roll-up win over Anna Jay. It's one of those things where I looked at this match, it almost like, Anna Jay, weren't you once like this? Effective, silent, dominant, dangerous. Julia Hart, perky, happy, entertaining, out there. You look at the contrast now. Yeah, who's more effective here?
Julia.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, the problem with Anna Jay is she talks too much. Oh, girl, you never shut up. Hello, shut up, Matthew. Bothermania. So.
Well, I mean, hey, she says I choke you out enough times that you could turn that into a notification if you wanted to. But anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, good win for Julia Hart. And hey, the women got to main event Rampage. That has to count for something. Two original AEW talents, still very young in their careers. And Anna JS is finally back to ring action. Yeah, we'll see if she actually builds a storyline out of this. Maybe this is a way to bring Tamel back in the fold too, because again, I do think both are deserving. And Julia Hart is finding her way. So you got to take progress where you can, because nothing is created overnight. But also, nothing is really hotshot booked a lot of times in AEW either, which definitely helps them at times. Also helps with the fact that TV projects feel the same every week. Ayo. That being said, this Rampage, it's okay. You know, Anna JAS, we'll see if this storyline continues. Maybe this means Julia Hart manipulates her in a way with Jupiter Society. Maybe they form a dark duel, and Time Mel, she has to confront her former friend, so maybe there's a paradigm shift there. Maybe Julia Hart, convinces or trains somebody to be her partner. Does this grow into a women's tag team forum again? Because that really is where Ty Mel and RJ are showcased the strongest. Ty J, whether entertainers or fighters. I still go back and watch that street fight from New Year's Smash against Penelope Ford and the Bunny. So I mean, that was pretty much a marquee standout match that put Ty Mel and Anna Jay on the map. So I mean, again, what dynamic is needed for these women, particularly these two? Still kind of out there, but if nothing else, Julia Hart's a more predominant TV presence.
Yes,
and
and
both
she's
Carmella
actually
and Anna JAS.
And she's actually a lot better in the ring now. Not then again, I say that because in kayfabe, like it looks like fucking Julia's better in the ring because they don't have Anna JAS do anything except have her scream. I'm gonna choke people out. I'm gonna choke people out. And it's just like.
I mean, there was more than screaming in this match, but you're not wrong because most of it was pretty much screaming. But I do see what you're saying. All right, and then we immediately transition as Julia Hart looks at Orange Cassidy coming in. The friggin' black heart, clear as day against that white background, man. As Orange Cassidy makes his way, as we immediately transition into Battle of the Belts 6. Opening up with our AEW National Championship match with a somewhat busted up hand of Orange Cassidy. Still coming in with that backpack on his shoulder. Looking at Julia Hart, I was like, ooh, this could lead to something. Boy, was I right. As he defended the AEW National Championship against LFI Stalistico with Jose, the assistant, Rush and Preston Vance, a bomb line. All hell broke loose at one point. All parties were neutralized. They went to the back. It was a one-on-one affair. Orange Cassidy's hand was definitely the focal point of this match, as it should have been. It was the weakest point. But he did rout Stalistico with some DDTs. Good grief. How many freaking DDTs do you need to do, Orange Cassidy, whenever you can, it seems. Stalistico with some great aerial offense, including a springboard, a Hurricane Rana, constantly working Orange Cassidy's arm, carrying beach break, and then took him out with a Canadian Destroyer. Damn. But Cassidy comes back, finally hits the orange punch. Damage, hand and all. Took a while, by the way, to follow up on that pin. After the early one, by the way. And pinned Dralistico. As he held his injured hand, the House of Black appeared on the screen. And basically, Malachi Black's been impressed. But he knows that this had to be good for him. Because he's been eaten away since the defeat the House of Black handed him on Dynamite. But maybe it's time that a receipt is given. We defended our titles, so why don't you defend yours against one Buddy Matthews?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yes, let's freaking go.
Yeah, and I like that they're finally having Orange Cassidy defend the championship against international talent. I mentioned this last week, but he filled in for an injured Eddie Kingston to fight Gabriel Kidd, who's in the UK. A part of New Japan Pro Wrestling show, and then you also have Orange Cassidy fighting Dralistico here from AAA and from Mexico, and you're having him fight the Aussie's own Buddy Matthews. So, yeah.
To get the people what they want.
They did.
I digress.
They finally did it.
Hey, you know what? It just took a while. Meanwhile, we go backstage to Lexington with them boy, Mark Briscoe, interviewing him before Jay Lethal interrupted him. Jay Lethal talked about how they've known each other for 20 years, wonder why they haven't worked together, and it just seemed like, okay, Jay Lethal, Mark Briscoe, he doesn't want to do traditional tag team matches, but trios or even singles, he's cool with that. As Mark Briscoe agrees to work together, Sanjay Dutt, Satin Singh, and fucking Jeff Jarrett come together on the scene, laughing and congratulating. I feel like Jim Ross is on point here.
And poor Mark Briscoe's like, wait, this is not what I talked about. This is not what I thought you meant.
I think Jim Ross said it perfectly. I don't think that was what Mark Briscoe had in mind. I know I don't.
No.
Anyway, moving on from there. Jade Cargill defended her TBS championship and her streak against the bright independent sensation. Still in high school. God bless her.
Yeah,
18 years of freaking age. I thought it was only a Japanese thing, considering Asume is freaking 20 years old and been wrestling for 10 years. This young 18-year-old who's been wrestling for 4 years is on national television. Keep that in mind. Challenging for a championship.
While she's still in high school, by the way. Hasn't even graduated yet.
Might I add, she currently holds 4 independent championships. Billy Starks. As Billy Starks in the early going, she sold. Jade Cargill, again, the absolute powerhouse that she is. What a freaking stiff kick to freaking Billy Starks' midsection. And then uses a ridiculous fallaway slam. But Billy Starks was able to mount a comeback, countered the first Jada with a Hurricane Rana, and basically took her off her feet and off her game. Catching her with another kick, and then rolling up Jade for a 2 count that almost made Smart Mark Sterling literally have a heart attack. I would have laughed my ass off. But then Starks nails Jade with a beautiful flatliner. If you had a heart attack,
that's mean, Noah. What the fuck?
I don't care about lawyers. Starks attempts a senton, but Jade got to her knees. Again, the power. And then Jade hits Billy Starks with, again, giving Ty Melbourne for her money. What a freaking bump kick. And then set her up shortly following that with the Jaded. And Jade Cargill got the winner of her game, Billy Starks, who had a nice chance to really present what she's capable of. Continues to impress me. I hope to see more of her in and out of a wrestling ring. AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, anybody. Billy Starks is a talent to watch, and apparently she has one of the most intensive independent schedules in the game. So God bless her. Continue your way through education in the industry. Be safe. That being said, this was a fun match. Look, let's be honest here. We all knew that Jade Cargill was not going to lose, but it's not about that. You look at the presentation. You look at the way of the opponent.
Yes.
Billy Starks hung there with Jade Cargill and nearly got her for a 2.5. That was value.
Really great. This is a really great match.
And then Taya Valkyrie makes her way to the ring and ducks a shot from Jade, and then Jade gets taken off her feet with a forearm and then looks to set her up for Road to Valhalla, but Jade escapes for now. Oh, the impending. How all things must come to an end, James, for J-Berg.
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm just saying.
Real quick before we continue, I don't know if I read this comment, but Zero said, "Bro, I was mad when the guns came out to many men."
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I didn't get it either. I agree, Zero. I agree.
Like I said, two pure white boys coming out to 50 Cent in 2023. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That'd be like me changing my song from there, Scared of Wu-Tang Clan. Meanwhile, moving on from there. Shut up, James.
Fair enough.
Tell me if I'm telling lies. Before the main event, we learned a little bit about what's to come on AEW Dynamite next week. As we learned, it was going to be, of course, Limitless Keith Lee versus Chris Jericho, but also Darby Allin was going to go one-on-one against Shane Strickland. And we also had a women's tag as Sky Blue and Riho, I believe, took on the Outcast, Tony Storm, and Ruby Soho. And more matches were to be announced, of course, coming this show as well. And we move on to our main event here tonight for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships as the Lucha Brothers, Penta, Estilo Mio, and Rey Fenix defend the gold against QTV's Powerhouse Hobbs and QT Marshall, who of course had Haley Cameron, forget her actual new name, and Aaron Solo accompanied them ringside. Yes, James, I know you're happy. That being said, of course, we had Caprice Coleman also joining the broadcast booth, one of the voices of Ring of Honor. I love Caprice Coleman and Avery Bryan's chemistry, but Caprice Coleman was fun here too. What really surprised me with this match, though, is how well QT Marshall and Powerhouse Hobbs worked together.
Yep.
And really controlled a lot of this. Considering it's the first time ever these two tagged up in any capacity. Powerhouse Hobbs doing big man things, literally just letting his body do the work for him and literally neutralizing the speed game of the Lucha Brothers throughout. QT Marshall, though, got rocked many times, but also bounced back. Lucha Brothers were then plowed, though, by Powerhouse Hobbs later on with ridiculous lariats. Rey Fenix, though, hits a spinning kick on QT, and then the QTV crew comes into play, tries to play difference maker here. We got that ridiculous corkscrew kick at one point, and then QT even hit the diamond cutter on Rey Fenix, but thankfully, somehow the Lucha Brothers were able to survive that. Powerhouse Hobbs then powerbomb Penta on the apron. Rey Fenix, though, counters, and then the most dangerous move in wrestling. It's interesting seeing these matches end in this type of fashion versus a finisher. A roll-up on QT. It almost makes me believe that they might run this back in some capacity or want to use QT and Powerhouse Hobbs more so in a tag team capacity. But this was a really good match.
And you know what? This QTV stuff has really reinvigorated QT Marshall. And just
it really has.
Like, this has been the best thing he's done. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I mean, he got a great new finisher out of it. The guy's got great character work. He's got a good TV presence, and it's not overbearing. And you want to see him get his ass kicked for the right reasons and not the wrong ones. So
exactly,
it's really well done. I think he's done a whole 180 on this presentation, and I think while the Lucha Brothers, we know how good they are, we know how good Powerhouse Hobbs is. The star of the show here, no pun intended, was QT here.
Bar none. He hung with both Penta and Rey. Again, he even pulled up the diamond cutter. Almost makes you wonder if you might get a singles match with either of those men. And like you said, James, QT's been a dark performer, coach, Nightmare Factory, and also, in a way, a leader, a mentor. And I feel he also helps in production as well. QT is a very invaluable part to
Of
AEW that
yeah.
people may not know.
They
But
sleep
overall,
on QT, bro. They really do.
Yeah,
Like the QT
bottom
Marshall is a huge component for why that show is as successful as it's been. Like all the graphics you see, QT Marshall is the head guy in charge of that stuff, and him and Jeff Jarrett work extremely close behind the scenes when it comes to the house show stuff. So
and
like
again,
it's
Troy Ohio, 96%.
it really just comes down to like you really like he's such a great hand. He's so valuable to any company, and it really does show. Like the amount of experience he has is off the chain, and it really showed here.
Respect, QT Marshall. Keep words, folks. It's Marshall, not Marshall.
Hey, back with the Voodoo Johnson theme too, by the way.
Yeah, about to say, then I like his new theme. By the way, congratulations, of course, to Lucha Brothers, successfully retaining the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. And on Battle Belt 6, I love this overall presentation. Once again, I enjoy these shows for what they bring. It really gives you that sense of disbelief, at least one of the matches. And it sets up other stuff, too. As I did announce, it was made official. We'll talk about next week that Buddy Matthews took Fred Screech and Castellon one-on-one for the AEW National Championship. But that being said, that concludes this week's discussion, a.k.a. The week numbers are on the graphic, but basically the week that started April 4th for All Things All Elite Wrestling.
14.
So, yep. So, as we taught on the 14th, but you get what I'm saying. For All Things All Elite Wrestling, so stay tuned. Next week, Tuesday, we'll return to normal routine, thank Christ, finally, to bring you this week's coverage that started April 10th in All Things AEW. And then we're back on par, trying to keep these things on Tuesday, at least for the short haul, it seems too. But thank you once again for tuning in. Before we conclude, James, always a pleasure. We got work to do Sunday and tomorrow night, clearly with, our shenanigans, hosted by JJ Williams. Follow the cats at the AG Studios, folks. But anything else you want to plug or promote, and where we can find you, or any closing thoughts regarding this particular week we discussed in AEW?
Not really much as far as content impending, but content is in the making. For those who have paid attention to all of the FTW stuff. You'll notice my channel banner has changed. Noah Foster's channel banner has changed. Casey Gallagher's channel banner has changed. Everybody in the FTW space and their channel banners have changed. It's basically going to be a huge thing going forward because Owen Finch's second channel, his non-wrestling channel, is going to be launching very soon. And his old CM Brothers channel is going to be the new FTW main hub. So you're going to actually see some old school content being posted on that channel. Kind of like almost a best of FTW Productions, like little hub there. Uploads and stuff going to be on there, as well as playlists of all the shows that air on all of our channels. All the playlists that we made, they're going to go on that channel going forward. So all the stuff going on is basically what we're going to be doing there. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing. CM Brothers was a talk show basically with Owen and AJ. That's now going to be called Owen and AJ Talks, and it's going to be on Owen the Talkinator, as well as Character Select, which is going to be hosted by me, where we simulate certain characters and just see them duke it out. Starting that off, a 64-team fucking tournament that was originally going to be on Button Mashers, now moving over to Character Select as the debut pilot. So there you go for that. And then as far as other shows, there's going to be Retro Movie Review Series with Nikos, Casey, AJ, and Owen. And finally, last but certainly not least, Content and Review to move over to that channel. So Content and Review is going to be myself, Mistress Audio, and Owen Finch, and whoever we may bring on that particular day to watch some content, YouTube content in particular. So that's kind of the whole deal there when it comes to that non-wrestling stuff. So a new channel with new shows involved into the production of FTW Productions. And Fantasy Booking Series is going to be having a new intro. If you guys have seen on this channel, uploaded retro that we did years ago that we have not been able to release, finally been released. Part 2 of Owen and I as a tag team finally been done. We are getting part 3 and 4 out in the next few weeks here. And then we are going to be debuting a new intro for Fantasy Booking Series going forward, and a new layout for Fantasy Booking going forward with Steve Coakley's fantasy booking of if Goldberg re-signed in WWE in 2004. That's going to be an interesting one. So go check that out right afterwards. And yeah, that's basically what's coming up on this channel. Everything else is kind of up in the air right now on my channel and Casey's channel. But we know this man's going to be busy, so if nothing else, he's got us covered. And yeah, while you're at it, man, shout out to Mr. Sadio. Go check out some of her content. She's been posting like every month for like the last 4 months. So go check out her content. It's really good stuff. Really good audio storytelling. She just reached 10,000 subscribers. So congratulations to her. That's fucking awesome. Love you, sis. And yeah, that's really all I got to plug. So there you go.
Yeah, nice stuff, man. Again, we're always busy, but we also find the balance, or at least try to, when it comes to our passion for professional wrestling and, of course, protecting our mentality. So it's always a pleasure. And thank you, folks, once again for tuning in to another electrifying edition of AEW Spark, where it ignites the conversation on all things All Elite Wrestling, even dark. But until next time, if you want to know more about me, know this, for I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling.
Buy the shirt.
But I don't market myself. But I digress. Find me on the Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to our entire ATW family on the Twitter and our social media platforms, too. If you haven't already, go check out the latest predicting on the Impact Wrestling Rebellion that went across Cast 18 Studios and my solo YouTube channel. Stay tuned for me and James' play-by-play commentary coverage for this Sunday's Impact Wrestling Rebellion preview on the Jeffrey Multiverse of Media 2. We, of course, have our weekly shenanigans Saturday night on Open Mic Night, hosted by the Renegade JJ Williams. Stay tuned for more on that across the Jeffrey Multiverse of Media as well. And there's more City predicting to come, and there will, of course, be continued conversations weekly on all things AEW. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see when, we'll see how, we'll see at some point, too, if we actually bring forward the Honor Hub as a full-fledged thing here, or a pre-recorded tiny thing I might do here too, because it's Ring of Honor, it's more condensed. And of course, we are on the road to Double or Nothing, so who knows, maybe we'll do some sort of watch-along type thing or reflection back at the last 4 Double or Nothing series. This is the 5th one, the show that brought forward what became known as AEW. For the 5th time, comes to us from Las Vegas, and who knows who's going to hit the jackpot there this year. So stay tuned for more on that and so much more. But as always, I'd like to conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters, just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Seriously, it's really simple. Treasure your families, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It truly is as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much once again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend on any of these platforms. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up. Help us keep growing these user communities together. Our passion and our content is not letting up anytime soon, I assure you. Who knows? As we continue to shape things into a more foundation. Thank you, by the way, James, for all your work as well. I'm going to try and work on a channel trailer maybe here soon, too. We might be bringing you more content, even for other companies. Maybe I'll do an Impact recap. I tried to soft-power that at one point. I love Impact Wrestling. Maybe I'll try some of that one day, too. And, of course, me and Casey will be back to give you our annual coverage of G1 Climax 33 in some capacity, too.
Ooh, speaking of, do we like the name Bracketology?
Well, I mean, considering they're going to have some sort of brackets, and I've always busted on them because I don't do them, I kind of like it. If you want to try and make that a thing, why not? Run it by Casey just to make sure he's down for it too, because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about professional wrestling. A respect, an honor, a follow, a passion, and overall, a lifestyle. Even if I don't work for it, I damn sure love working with it. So with that being said, folks, thank you once again for tuning in to another AEW Spark. The AEW review will also be back again soon as we approach Double or Nothing. That honestly might be the next one. So stay tuned. But for James Hebert and anybody who's a fan of All Elite Wrestling, thanks for tuning in as we pull the plug on this edition of AEW Spark. Until next time, it may not be AEW, but it still matters. Make a positive impact in life and have a good night. For we are AEW.
Good night, everybody!
Podcast has concluded. Be sure to check out more group discussion as far as AEW content is concerned, and check out more content from For the Win Productions.